The North Carolina State Wolfpack have been the biggest surprise of the ACC as Dick Sheridan's team vaulted to the number 12 national ranking. A punishing defense and an opportunistic group of players are a win away from being the winningest Wolfpack football team. The Florida Gators are built in the image of their head coach, Steve Spurrier. The SEC's top quarterback, Shane Matthews, leads the passing attack. And he's supported on the ground by Eric Rett. The Gators and the Wolfpack meet in the 48th annual Gator Bowl. Tonight from Jacksonville, Florida, it's the 48th annual Gator Bowl. At stake in tonight's game, a top 10 ranking, as well as conference pride as a 12th ranked North Carolina State Wolfpack of the ACC meet the 15th rated Gators of Florida representing the SEC. Hi everybody, I'm Gary Bender. Glad you can be with us on the eve of a new year. We think we have a very interesting game for you. Two explosive teams who finished second in their respective conferences. Finishing second only to the number 2 and number 3 ranked teams in the country in Alabama and Florida State. North Carolina State posted a 9-2-1 record, and they closed out the season playing the best football since Dick Sheridan has been in Raleigh, and he came there in 1986. If they win tonight, it would be a record 10 wins in a season for the Pack. And I think, Pat Hayden, it's safe to say this is Dick Sheridan's best team ever.
Well, Gary, it is his best team and best season because of his senior class. 17 fifth-year seniors. These guys have averaged 8 wins a season, and they go to their 5th consecutive bowl. Now, unless you're a college football aficionado, you might not realize that Dick Sheridan is one of college football's best coaches. 15th year as a head coach, 7th as a Wolfpack head coach. He has been successful every year, leading the Wolfpack to 6 bowl games. Now, there is a lot at stake for North Carolina State tonight. As you mentioned, they win the 10th game. Never has that been done in North Carolina State history. Secondly, a win, I think, would vault them into a top 10 ranking, which would be significant. But just as importantly, for the seniors, that has meant so much to Dick Sheridan's program, they want to go out with a win.
Florida, the defending SEC champions, got off to a 1-2 start. They lost 2 in a row. Steve Spurrier never lost 2 in a row since coming to Florida. But this team rallied. They won 7 in a row before losing to 3rd-ranked Florida State. They went to the inaugural SEC championship game in Birmingham to meet the Tide of Alabama. It was tied at 21, and Shane Matthews back to pass. Intercepted. Antonio Langham took it in, and the Tide won the SEC championship and moved on to the Sugar Bowl. And I guess, Pat Hayden, the question I would have is, how emotionally is Florida coming into this game?
Well, I think it's difficult to recover from a loss like that. There were such big game implications about it. But Steve Spurrier spent the last 2 weeks having very difficult 2-a-day practices, getting his team focused on this Gator Bowl. Now, Steve Spurrier is one of the real innovators in college football. And when he got the job in 1990 at Florida, people said to win in the SEC, you have to run the football. But he has been a contrarian because he has thrown the heck out of the ball. 69 games as a head coach, both at Duke and at Florida. His teams have averaged over 310 yards passing. They are fun to watch. They are entertaining, but they are difficult to defend.
Well, Steve Spurrier's never won a bowl game. He's 0 for 2. He lost 1 at Duke, and last year he lost the Sugar Bowl game to Notre Dame. So we're going to have this Gator Bowl coming your way. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll introduce you to another member of our broadcast team here from Jacksonville, Florida.
It's a grand New Year celebration in the Gator Bowl City. The Gator Bowl Association would like to thank sponsors for making it something for everyone. Pre-game and halftime excitement, high school marching bands from all over America, and a New Year's celebration on the banks of the St. Johns River. Our sponsor appreciation to Outback Steakhouse, the Duval County Tourist Development Council, City of Jacksonville, CSX Transportation, and Bell South Mobility. Happy New Year, everybody.
Introducing the 32-valve, 280-horsepower Lincoln Mark 8, and the most powerful argument we can make on its behalf. Drive everything else first. The new Lincoln Mark 8. What a luxury car should be.
The Gator Bowl, Jacksonville, Florida. And joining us on the broadcast near this sideline, let's go down, and here's Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, the Gator Bowl may be sponsored by Outback, but the attention is on the quarterback, particularly Shane Matthews. Florida held its spring game here in 1990. Shane rode in as the fifth-string quarterback, and when his work was done, he rode back from whence he had come as the starter. 47 school records, 19 SEC marks have followed. He was 3-0 on this field against Georgia. Meanwhile, Terry Jordan is being called the other quarterback, but he deserves better billing. In the last 2 years, NC State was 12-3-1 with Terry Jordan as a starter. And among NCAA passing leaders, not only does he rank ahead of Shane Matthews, but also ahead of Miami's Gino Torretta, the Heisman Trophy winner. Shane Matthews and Terry Jordan, two outstanding college quarterbacks, concluding their collegiate careers right here in the Gator Bowl.
Greg, glad to have you with us, as right now you see North Carolina State coming on to the field. Their fifth straight bowl appearance. Ranked number 12 in the country. And finishing second to Florida State in the ACC. And here come the Gators, led out on the field by the only senior in the starting lineup, Shane Matthews. Ranked 15th, the Gators seeking their first bowl victory since 1988, the first for Steve Spurrier. We'll be back with the opening kickoff here from the 48th Annual Gator Bowl in just a moment.
This New Year's Eve, get your kicks with Chuck. It'll be one party you won't want to miss. Invasion USA, an eye for an eye, forced vengeance, breaker breaker. No formal attire required.
You want to bet?
Chuck Norris New Year's Eve Bash begins 9:30 tonight on TBS.
Let's decide.
I want the beach.
Mommy, I just want to have fun.
Well, how about some golf?
I think I've got it. Look at this. Jacksonville, Florida. It's got everything.
Jacksonville, Florida, your everything vacation destination. Call today, 1-800-733-2668.
The Outback Steakhouse Gator Bowl is brought to you by Lincoln Mercury and the complete line of 1993 Lincoln and Mercury automobiles. And by The Prudential. In a changing world, one thing remains rock solid.
The teams are on the field, and Florida has returned to the field, changing their uniforms. They're in all blue, and we understand the last time they wore all blue was against Miami in 1978. Ron Winter is the referee as we get ready now for the flip of the coin. Carlton Miles, one of the seniors. This is a very young Florida team, and their top 44 players, 11 are seniors. And here is the flip. North Carolina State will call it.
Let's go on the fence. Let's go.
And receiving will be the Gators of Florida. So kicking off from left to right, North Carolina State. Steve Spurrier, in his third year as head coach, and as we mentioned, has not won a bowl game. Dick Sheridan, his 7th year. Let's look at these two coaches. You talked about how outstanding they are, and Sheridan maybe not as well known.
Yeah, Dick Sheridan, I think one of the very good college football coaches. And as we said, unless you really know, this is what they've done head-to-head. They've had some real shootouts. As you see, 41-39. This is when Steve Spurrier was the head coach at Duke, and then in '87. And You see what happened. High-scoring games, 1-1-1, 41-39, and we'd love to see a game like that tonight.
Well, it's very possible if you look at some of the stats coming in. The only thing that might stop that is North Carolina State has the #1 scoring defense of the ACC. They allowed only 15.3 points a game. So Steve Spurrier, who said he was given free rein to start experimenting offensively when he's an offensive coordinator at Duke. The head coach at that time was Red Wilson. He said, it's your offense, do what you want with it.
And, you know, just flipping it over, too, Dick Sheraton has always been a coach whose offensive philosophy is made to force you to adjust. I mean, you'll see North Carolina State tonight do a lot of different things, and they'll put some pressure on this Florida defense. They'll run some option, they'll throw the ball, they'll run some play action. The whole theory there for Dick Sheridan, he's been very successful running it, is make you adjust not only before the game, but during the course of the game as well.
Jimmy Sixon, a junior out of Asheville, North Carolina, will get this underway. Back deep. It's going to be Harrison Houston and Larry Kennedy for the Gators. Crowd in the neighborhood of 70,000 plus on hand. A sixth guy with a short kick. It'll be Kennedy at the 15. Larry Kennedy out to the 25, and the Gators will set it up there. Shane Matthews, the SEC's all-time leading passer, comes on. His numbers for the year: very accurate passer, quick release, and he makes very good decisions in this complicated offense.
Well, you know, they don't have a lot of audibles because they don't really need them. They don't get blitzed that much, quite honestly, because they spread people out so much and they force the defense to adjust. But 3- and 5-step drops you'll see from Florida most of this evening.
On the 25, the first snap, and Matthews is changing the play. Back to throw on first down, and he completes it to his leading receiver, Willie Jackson. And Jackson out at the 30, a gain of 5. Let's look at this Florida offense. Very young offensive line. They have 2 true freshmen at the offensive tackle spots. Rhett Randolph in the backfield. Houston, Jackson, outstanding wide receivers. Now, Reggie Green and Jason Odom are true freshmen. And Green missed only 1 snap this year on the offensive side of the play. Second down and 5. Hand off to Rhett. Eric Rhett has a first down to the 37-yard line. The Gators have the initial first down of the game as Damian Covington made the stop for State. We mentioned this defense. It's very good. Up front, Aikens, Logo, and Reeves. Reeves set a record this year for sacks for North Carolina State. Merritt led the ACC in average tackles per game. And Reed, along with Savage, were all ACC picks. Play action, they'll do a lot of that. As Matthews not able to make the connection at the 49-yard line. Willie Jackson, the intended receiver.
Gary, the key to this football game will be Florida's ability to run the draw play. Now, it is their most successful running play because they are a passing team. And if they're able to run the draw play, it sets up all their passes. So that is really the key tonight. Can North Carolina stop the draw, or can Florida run the draw?
Second down and 10 just across the 35-yard line. The initial series of the Gator Bowl. Single running back is Rhett. Matthews over the middle, intended for freshman Jack Jackson, number 1. He is their fastest wide receiver. It'll bring up a third down.
Let's look at this North Carolina State defense and how Florida's going to try to attack it. You see the 2 deep safeties. Well, Florida's going to try to attack a couple zones. One right in here, out here in the corner areas, and then they'll throw the backs right here. Makes it incredibly difficult on linebackers. The linebackers are going to be the key tonight defensively for North Carolina State.
Florida this year, 40.7% on third down. Third down 10. Matthews, that's too long. Intended on the near side for Aubrey Hill, and they're going to have to punt the football. So after picking up 1 first down, North Carolina State stops the initial series of the Gators.
That's Buddy Green, the defensive coordinator from North Carolina State, and he's done a terrific job. He said, all I'm interested is in scoring defense. They led the ACC in scoring defense. I don't care about first downs or big plays or drives. I just want to keep people out of the end zone. and his defensive philosophy is just that. They'll start blitzing once you pass the 50-yard line.
Shane Edge will punt to this guy, Liddell George. George coming up. No fair catch at the 30-yard line. Nice move to the 35. And the Wolfpack will have the ball for the first time. 35-yard punt by Edge. A 6-yard return by George. And so Terry Jordan, the quarterback for Dick Sheridan. He's just been a winner. He is 12-3-1 in the last 2 years for State. We're going to be back with their initial series in just a moment.
After a hard day in the outback, dreams of the good life come easy. At Outback Steakhouse, we decided to bring these dreams to America. Well, most of them anyway. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
No score here in quarter number 1 of the Gator Bowl. Terry Jordan will take his first snap. Very strong arm and completed almost 60% of his passes career-wise. 64% this year. And Pat, the one thing he's had to work with is being too hard on himself. He really, when he makes a mistake, really let that suffer and let that bother him from some time.
Well, certainly that has been his history. I think he's shown a lot more maturity this year, and he hasn't let the mistakes bother him as long as he did in years past.
Neil Lauer, the tight end in motion, pitch back to Anthony Barber, and Barber led the ACC in average carry. First for 16 yards. He's all the way to the 49-yard line of Florida, first down. Well, you just saw Barber. Maynard, the fullback, the two of them together had over 1,800 yards rushing. Griffiths and Lawrence, the wideouts, and Auer, they feel, has been the best tight end they've had. Taylor, Johnson, Ward, G is an all-ACC pick, and Hageman, a redshirt freshman, is a monster at right tackle. Jordan comes out throwing behind the intended receiver, Barber, inside the 35-yard line. It'll bring up a second down.
Florida plays an unusual blitzing, penetrating type of defense. Very good defensive line with Carter at one end and Mark Campbell at the other.
Carter was a second-team all-SEC pick. Miles, 147 tackles this year. Kennedy and Hatch. Now, Hatch is going for Del Spear, who's out with a shoulder problem. As right now we have an official's timeout. Mark Campbell has been shaken up. He started in place of Johnny Church, who had missed some practices. So Church now comes in at defensive end. 2nd and 10, straight ahead. Maynard, the fullback, maybe a yard.
Well, Gary, Dick Sheridan was saying about this Florida defense, they can create a lot of negative plays. I mean, it's hard to get into a rhythm against this Gator defense. And he said it's important for us to start this game. We need to ease into it. We don't want any negative plays early in this game, a sack, a turnover. So even if you have to punt the ball, ease into it, but no negative plays.
3rd down and 9. The Wolfpack 41.1% on 3rd down conversions this year. The option, Jordan comes back to Barber, and Barber's going to be short of the first down. Stopped a couple of yards short. Larry Kennedy, the cornerback, up to make the stop. They're going to have to punt the football.
That is a heck of a stop by Larry Kennedy, number 3, the cornerback of the Gators. I mean, he had a body on him, a big body, and this is a defensive back. He threw him away on the option play and was able to make the tackle. So a terrific stop there by Larry Kennedy, forces the punt.
They feel he could be the best that's ever worn the blue and orange of Florida. As back to punt football is Tim Kilpatrick, 2nd team all-ACC. Monty Duncan back deep for the Gators. Good snap. It's a very high, but he got too much of it. It's going to make it into the end zone for the touchback. 43-yard punt. And Florida will have the ball for the second time at the 20-yard line. No score at the 48th annual Gator Bowl. The Wolfpack and the Gators.
Under terms of the joint venture, Phillips Petroleum will match the yearly contributions of the states of Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, Kansas, and New Mexico. Ducks Unlimited will disperse these funds to secure, preserve, and enhance the migrating and vital breeding grounds of the Playa Lakes region. Charlie?
This commitment from Phillips Petroleum comes from the belief that some investments have far bigger returns than others.
The family car. You've got a lot in it and a lot riding on it.
That's why Walmart's here, to help you take good care of it.
With quality brands like Quaker State, it's one tough motor oil. Regular changes with Quaker State contribute to better engine performance and longer engine life. Because while some things come and go,
some things are always.
Like the cars that come for Quaker State to Walmart. Always the low price, always.
Vince Dooley took his Bulldogs to the field for the final time, but two individual performances would be the highlight. On the ground, Georgia tailback Rodney Hampton scored 3 touchdowns, including this 32-yard game clincher. Not to be outdone, Andre Rison caught 9 passes for 252 yards, 3 for touchdowns, and Georgia was a winner 34-27. And Georgia quarterback Wayne Johnson edged Rodney Hampton in the MVP voting of that ball game as he had 15 of 27 for 3 touchdowns. After the punt for the touchback from the 20 Florida. Matthews gives off to Rhett. Eric Rhett for a couple of yards to the 22-yard line, and Ricky Logo, an all-ACC nose guard, number 90, was there to stop him.
Yeah, Ricky Logo was a guy who was built like a large screen TV. I mean, he has got the perfect nose tackle build. 6'1", 280 pounds. You don't move him out of that nose tackle position too often.
You don't think he has the build of a quarterback?
No,
what you're trying to say?
No.
2nd and 8. There's a play action again, being flushed out as Matthews, and he's on target to the far side. The catch is made by Harrison Houston. It'll be short of the first down by a couple of yards. Harrison Houston with 29 catches this year. And Shane Matthews, I said, how do you describe him? He says, he's my water bug. Just a little guy, fire plug at 5'9".
Yeah, and in Houston, what Shane Matthews was saying was, when you're in doubt, you get the ball out to Harrison Houston and let him run with the ball after the catch. That's what they like to do with Houston.
3rd down and 2 now for the Gators. Quick pitch, Rhett. And Rhett drives forward, and he's got the first down. He needed to reach the 30, got across the 30 to the 31, and Damian Covington, an inside linebacker for the Wolfpack, there to make the stop.
Eric Rhett is a complete player for this Gator team. 900 yards rushing. You see the 55 receptions, which is a remarkable number. Led the SEC in rushing a year ago. Steve Spurrier was saying he didn't have the kind of year we were hoping as far as yards per carry, but he's had a marvelous year as a receiver.
55 catches, led all running backs this year in the country. There's a handoff this time, and it's going to be run straight ahead by Rhett. Rhett across the 35 to the 37, and Tyler Lawrence there to make the stop for NC State.
The North Carolina State team, there's Buddy Green, the defensive coordinator, who really has done a terrific job with this Wolfpack defense. But he said, hey, we decided we're not going to have any defensive huddles this year. He said, I saw so many guys running back and forth to the huddle. I thought they were getting tired. So his whole defense really just kind of turns to him, and he signals in the defense to all 11.
2nd down and 5. Rhett trying to get the first down. He's got it. Good second effort. This guy is so tough between the tackles. He's like a bull as he brings it out to the 45-yard line. We already have gained 25 yards in this game. 1st down.
Yeah, you know, the left guard and left tackle there, Reggie Green and Dean Golden, do a nice job. You see number 78, he pushes his man out. Dean Golden, the left guard, pushes his man out, created a nice little seam there for Rhett to slip into.
You forget he weighs 211 pounds. 1st down at the 45. Nice play action fake by Matthews. Dumps it near side. Intended on the near side for Randolph, the fullback.
We've talked about the key to Florida is the draw play. All year long, when they've run the draw play with success, Shane Matthews has had success throwing the ball. And they have an unusual throwing scheme in that they look deep first. They're looking downfield for the wide receivers. If they're taken away, he comes right down and boom, pops it to one of the backs, and that's why Eric Redd has the 55 catches on the year.
And Steve Spurrier is the offensive coordinator. Second down, 10 from the 45. Matthews, the completion to Rhett will be tackled short of the 50-yard line. That was Tyler Lawrence flying over there, the all-ACC pick, who's a tremendous athlete. If you look at their linebackers, they run so extremely well.
This is a bowl game, and it means a lot for a lot of players playing their last games for respective schools, including Ricky Logo, number 90. I mean, he can play with the helmet, he can play without the helmet, he can play with hands taped. I mean, Ricky Logo does a lot of things.
Well, at halftime, we'll have a special feature on him. Maybe in American Samoa, they don't play with helmets.
Maybe not.
Third down. Third down and 7. Matthews gets a long throw to the far side. The intended receiver was Trey Everett. Now, if Gator fans are confused, Trey Everett is wearing a different number. It's number 5. He's been number 24 previous to this game. He said this is a faster number, so he wanted to wear number 5.
I thought he looks fast in 24.
That confuses broadcasters, right?
Well, but, you know, this, you think Steve Spurrier, I think he was concerned that Trey Everett was supposed to break on the out pattern and really catch that ball running away. He looked like he hooked up, and Steve Spurrier was saying, hey, why'd you hook up?
Edge to punt the football 11 times this year. He's been able to punt it dead inside the 20. And going back, and Ricky Turner this time with the sure hands makes the fair catch, and they'll have the ball just outside the 10-yard line. 42-yard punt for Shane Edge. Second year he's been the punter for the Gators. Last year as a true freshman, he took over the honors. As Terry Jordan comes back in for this North Carolina State team, a very good running team. The best rushing team since Dick Sheridan has been in Raleigh. Hand off to Maynard, the fullback. He maybe got a yard. That's a young defensive forward wall for Florida, but it is athletic.
As you look at Maynard, number 33, and Dick Sheridan was saying last night about him that he is really one of the reasons we have had a successful year. He's an unselfish player. Most fullbacks are, because they're going to be blocking linebackers, but he's done a terrific job of blocking linebackers. He's a reasonably good receiver. He's done everything that's been asked of him at the fullback position.
We're up about an hour and a half here from the Jacksonville area. Hand off straight ahead this time to Maynard, and Maynard, who had 102 yards rushing in the last game against Wake Forest, wedges it out to the 15-yard line. There'll be a long 5 short for the third down coming up.
Well, Dick Sheridan also said to us yesterday, what has to happen here in this game is, number one, they have to protect their passer because of Florida's aggressive and blitzing style of defense. He said, secondly, on the option play, which we don't necessarily feature, but we're going to run it, we have to get the ball outside. The big plays against Florida come on the perimeter of the defense.
Florida concerned about all those little different looks. Jordan back to throw, screen over the middle, incomplete. Aubrey Shaw, number 22, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up a fourth down. So now, punting the ball near his goal line is going to be Tim Kilpatrick. Kilpatrick coming into the ball game, averaging 38.2. See what he did on his first punt as Monty Duncan back for the Gators.
Eddie likes the kick to Monty Duncan.
Not that well hit. Duncan will take it to the midfield stripe. Right up the middle he takes it to the 41-yard line of NC State. 35-yard punt, 9-yard return. So there's no score with 7:46 to go in this first quarter, but right now the Gators with the best field position in the early going.
What he did to her was unspeakable. The fact she protected him was unthinkable.
I'm worried about you.
Based on a true story. Cheryl Ladd, Sam Elliott, A Death in California. 8:05 Eastern, Friday night on TBS.
You make me sparkle.
brighter when I'm with you. And when I surrender to a tasty kiss or two.
Martini and Rossi Asti. Make the moment sparkle.
Mockingbird Lane, Mayberry, Beverly Hills, and an uncharted desert island unite for one hilarious day of... Nip it! Bingo! Fun on the 1st. Begins 10:05 Eastern New Year's Day on TBS.
No score at the Gator Bowl. Should the score be tied at the end, that would suit Bonnie McGeorge just fine. Her husband, Rich, is the tight end coach, the offensive line coach for Florida. Her son, Jason, a tight end with NC State. Who are you rooting for?
Well, you're right. Maybe a tie wouldn't be a bad idea. But I guess my allegiance at this moment has to be for the University of Florida.
Well, your husband, of course, played with the Green Bay Packers for nearly a decade. For 23 years, you've been married. Have you ever sat with him at a game?
We sat together a couple of years ago in a state playoff game for my younger son. He caught the winning touchdown pass. He picked me up and twirled me around, and it was quite an exciting thing to sit with him. I don't know if I'd like to on a regular occasion or not.
He probably wonders what you're doing down here. So you go back to your seat. We'll go back to Gary Bender.
All right, Craig. Eric Redd on the receiving end of the pass from Shane Matthews all the way to the 26-yard line of State. Ricky Logo made the stop, and that is what epitomizes Redd. He'll make a 1-yard gain, in this case, into a 16-yard gain.
Well, that's what makes Redd, as a pass receiver, incredibly dangerous. Now, they generally look first downfield. Nothing's there. Then they dump it off to Redd. This wasn't really a screen pass, but then he shows some a great athletic ability by putting the hand down, but terrific making people miss in a small area.
16-yard gain to the 27. Matthews backs, got a little pressure, dumps it off to Greg Keller, the tight end. And his best friend on the team, his roommate back in Gainesville, Keller, makes a 12-yard reception to the 15-yard line. Sebastian Savage eventually made the stop for North Carolina State.
Now, Shane Matthews is an offensive lineman's dream because he gets rid of the ball very quickly. Pretty good pass rush here by the Wolfpack, but he steps up into the pocket and gets rid of the ball quickly. Doesn't waste any time winding up. It gets out of his hands and to the receiver very quickly.
And such an easy ball to catch. First down, just short of the 15-yard line. Matthews sprinting away. Cummington giving chase, and he just threw it away. Good coverage that time. Trey Everett was closest to the football, but North Carolina State had defensed that one extremely well. Just nothing there. And Matthews, who this year threw 16 interceptions to go with his 23 touchdowns, wisely didn't try to force that one in. He talked about an easy catchable ball. Explain that, Pat. What's that mean?
Well, you talk to his receivers, and what they're saying is he throws a spiral. And when he's, a lot of guys surprisingly will not throw spirals, and makes it a more difficult pass to catch. And he can throw with some touch. If you're 5 yards away, he's not going to drill it. I mean, he's got enough arm, particularly when his feet are set, to get the ball downfield. But if you're 5 yards away, he's going to take something off it.
On his 2nd and 10, number 9 is back throwing end zone. Willie Jackson, the intended receiver. Check that. Aubrey Hill. Pretty good coverage again. Tyler Lawrence, who's such a good athlete, a junior out of Greensboro, dropping back and covering Hill, who sometimes will line up as a tight end. Third down, 10, just short of the 15. The Heisman Trophy winner in 1966, Steve Spurrier.
Well, Steve Spurrier knew they had a touchdown on that play if it were properly executed. The receiver was open, the ball thrown too far outside.
Matthews back over the middle, too long, intended for Willie Jackson, and they're going to have to settle for a field goal. So 5 passes on this series, and they end up stalling just short of the 15-yard line. Judd Davis is the field goal kicker. Now, he has been their kicker only the last 3.5 games. He's hit 3 of 4 thus far this year. As long as a 46, this will be 32 yards. High snap, the kick on the way, and the kick is no good. They started the year with Bart Edmonston as their kicker. He struggled. He was 7 of 14, and so they replaced him with this guy. And Davis not able to connect. No score. 6:45 to go. First quarter of play.
They ate the same lunch, got the same heartburn, but his antacid is very different. His Tums has calcium. Most antacids don't. Regular Rolaids uses an aluminum salt. This uses aluminum and magnesium. So does this. Of all these, only Tums helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need every day.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Calcium-rich Tums. That's the one you want.
The steak is seasoned with 16 spices and seared to perfection at precisely 400 degrees. The Cabernet is imported from the finest Australian vineyard. Where will you find this superb meal without the fancy trappings or price? Down under at Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
The Gators missing a 32-yard field goal. Shane Edge holding for Judd Davis. And it just didn't look good as it came off his foot. Harold Monk is the snapper. And so we have no score. And I think this was more frustration of not getting 6 points than the missed field goal.
You're right. Steve Spurrier felt that they should have had a touchdown. They had Aubrey Hill open in the end zone. There was some miscommunications between Matthews and Hill, and they didn't get it. And that would have been an easy 6 points for them. And I think that's what he's frustrated about more than the missed field goal.
So the Wolfpack will start from their own 20-yard line. Neil Howard, the tight end. Here comes the option. Jordan going to keep this one. He got a yard, and that's all. And you saw Carlton Miles. Is he quick? Number 31. He was riding that play down the line of scrimmage and just snuffed it out.
Yeah, and not only that, but Ben Hanks, who plays a position called the bandit for Florida, he took away the pitch man, Anthony Barber. And when you're playing the option, there's Hanks, number 11. What you want to do is force the quarterback to run it. Terry Jordan's not going to beat Florida running the football. Anthony Barber would. And so Ben Hanks takes the pitch man away.
2nd and 9 from the 21. Odell George is in the backfield. Swing pass near side, and Barber is just annihilated by the guy you were talking about, number 11, Ben Hanks, who, by the way, is wearing the same number that Steve Spurrier won, and he unretired it this year and is letting Ben Hanks play with it. And if he hits like that, he's going to deserve it.
Yeah, they may give him 11, 12, and 13, Ben Hanks. This is, as we said, the bandit position, which is the equivalent of an outside linebacker for them. They play an 8-man front. But the play was too slow in developing, and that gave Ben Hanks plenty of time to get a running start on the tackle.
He unloaded. 3rd down and 14. Jordan in trouble and drops. The ball has come loose. Who's got it? It looks like we're waiting for a point one way or the other, indicating 4th down. It'll be North Carolina State's ball as Hageman, George Hageman, all 6'7", 332 pounds, saved it for North Carolina State.
This is what Dick Sheridan fears, is an unusual, aggressive team that blitzes a lot. And sometimes you can't pick them all up. And if you don't see them, you're going to fumble the ball, which happened right just there.
Boy, did Johnny Church hit him from the backside.
You know, if you have that many blitzes from the backside, the quarterback, instead of turning his back, really, is going to have to start backing out, just straight back, so he can see the blitz.
Kilpatrick to punt. Earlier, he punted from the goal line, deep in his own end zone. Wobbly kick. Monty Duncan has it at the 40, and the Gators will have excellent field position again. They'll have it at the 36 of NC State, a 34-yard punt, a 5-yard return.
Well, no score here still in this first quarter, Gary, and what's happened here, it's thus far been a game of field positions. And Florida keeps getting little better field position after each exchange. Now they have an opportunity really to do anything they want and maybe get themselves, even if they get another 10 yards or back in field goal range, or 10 or 15 yards back in field goal range, but they need to be thinking big play over the middle to one of the wide receivers.
From the 37, Shane Matthews. 2nd time the Gators have started for State into the field. Give to Rhett. Rhett right side, bounces off the people, pumping the legs. That's what we're talking about, is how tough he is. He just moved the pile to the 30-yard line, a gain of almost 8 yards on the play. This guy is 6 foot, 211 pounder. The third leading rusher in Gator history with yet another year to go. Number 1, of course, is Emmitt Smith, and then Neil Anderson, number 2, and there is Rhett. Second down, and let's make it 3.
They've had some terrific running backs at Florida, haven't they?
Oh.
You mentioned those two, and John L. Williams. And
in fact, John L. Williams is here tonight. Pitch comes to Rhett. Rhett will get the first down. He's close to the 27-yard line. Damian Covington making yet another tackle for North Carolina State.
Well, Shane Matthews said last night that we can run the football when we want to, and he said against North Carolina State, we feel we have to run the football. And that means you're going to see a lot of Eric Rhett. But again, the draw play, the power play, they've had some success running both of those this drive with Eric Rhett.
And what was it Dick Sheridan said? We've got to stop the run. We've got to play the draw well. Shane Matthews lunging forward. They were short of the first down a moment ago, just short. So on a 3rd down and 1, Matthews on a sneak takes it close to the 25-yard line. First down for Florida. The Gators coming in here 8-4, the SEC Eastern Division champions. Rhett, the single running back, 3 wideouts. Rhett again, stumbling. And look at this second effort to the 20-yard line. Looked like that wasn't going to get anything, and he ends up getting 6 yards to the 20-yard line where to bring up a second down.
You could say it's a missed tackle by North Carolina State, but if you watch Eric Rhett enough, he makes a lot of people miss because he can duck at the right time and make you go over, as he did there, or he can run through some arm tackles. Now, he's not necessarily shifty. You called him a bull a little bit earlier, Gary, and that's typical of his style. He is going to make some people miss by running through arm tackles.
Gained 39 yards on 8 carries thus far. Play action by Shane Matthews going far side. Harrison Houston can't get to it. Mike Reed defending on the play for North Carolina State. Boy, they stretch you, don't they, with their offense?
Yeah, they make you defend the whole field. And once again, I think Steve Spurrier is a bit frustrated because that's a corner route one more time that was open for a touchdown. Just thrown out a little bit too far in front of the receiver. But there are what Florida features down here are a couple of routes. One is the corner route, which they ran just there. The other is the post route. If they aren't open, then they'll dump it to the back red.
3rd and 5. Matthews 5 of 14, 41 yards thus far. He's missed his last 4. Sprint out this time. He's now missed 5 in a row. Harrison, the intended receiver, Harrison Houston, and David Merritt, the linebacker, covering. It's 4th down.
I just don't think that Shane Matthews is as accurate a thrower on the move. When he's back there in the pocket and comfortable, he is a very accurate thrower. But when he's rolling out, I mean, I think he loses some of it. That's 3 passes I think he feels that maybe they should have had.
So now Judd Davis, who missed earlier from 32, will attempt one from 37 yards this time. Out of the hold of Shane Edge, and that ball doesn't look good, and it's not.
That may have been blocked or tipped.
So he's 0 for 2, and the Gators have really let 2 excellent opportunities get away from them.
Well, North Carolina State is just kind of hanging around. Buddy Green says, I'm interested in scoring defense. And even though Florida's gotten very good field position the last 2 series, their defense has kind of hung in there.
So Spurrier's team has missed a field goal at the 6:45 mark, and now at the 2:12 mark. North Carolina State will take it at the 20-yard line. Maynor and Barber in the I formation. Jordan back. He's going to be rushed and hit and dumped. Bill Gunner was there. Oh, did Gunner, the senior, hit him? And looked like Jordan had time to throw, but all of a sudden Gunner, number 93, came rolling up the middle.
Think about this Florida defensive front. Is you can block them for a while, but they don't stay blocked. You see, it looks like pretty good protection right there. The coverage was there, and then Gunter, number 93, comes off the block. So if that's the case, what do you need? You need draws, screens, traps, quick passes.
And protection. 2nd down and 17. Jordan getting hit often early in the early going. Up the field, it comes this time to Reggie Lawrence, and he makes a 1st down catch across the 25-yard line. Larry Kennedy defending on the play.
Reggie Lawrence took a shot there, but he made himself a big target. I mean, he's 6 feet tall, and Terry Jordan is hung in the pocket, and when he gets his feet set, he can drill the ball. But you see how he did the little hook route? The hook route right here, works his way back to the quarterback, presents his whole body, the big target, to Terry Jordan to hit.
Lawrence takes himself out of the game. Looks like he injured his shoulder. That was a 14-yard gain to the 27. On the option is Jordan. He cuts it across the 30, 35, very close to the first down. Near the 40-yard line, and that's the best option they've had. That'll be a 13-yard gain. And one of the reasons is Greg Maynor, the fullback, threw a key block for Terry Jordan on the play.
The Wolfpack is not an option team, but they do run the option. I mean, they force you to spend some practice time thinking about it, defending it. They'll run some option, they'll run pitch, they'll run power football, they run screens. I mean, they do a little bit of everything, and that's why Steve Spurrier was saying, hey, we have to be a good adjustment team when you play it against the Wolfpack.
But not for the first down, the second first down of the game. Looks like the blitz is coming. Handoff goes to Barber, and Barber is so quick to the hole, able to get something out of it as he brings it out to the 43. Inside 30 seconds left now, the first quarter. No score. Florida has missed 2 field goal attempts. Florida kept saying Barber is so quick, and they got to be very concerned about his cutback ability.
Yeah, when the Wolfpack have had some big runs this year, it has been when Anthony Barber has had the cutback right off the pitch. That's where he is most effective.
Second down and 7, and they're not going to get the snap, as that will end our first quarter. So, after 1 quarter of play here at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Dick Sheridan's team has survived a couple of missed field goals, and we have no score.
We have so much to celebrate. Corbel Champagne.
With each new day, you find a way to be your best.
Gillette Sensor for the closest, safest shave ever.
You know you gotta be a little better than the rest.
Only Gillette Sensor has spring-mounted twin blades that sense and adjust to every detail of every face. Gillette Sensor, when you're the best, there's no feeling like it.
Gillette, the best a man can get.
Well, Pat, I guess missed opportunity. Steve Spurrier probably saying we can't let this get away from us.
Well, it wasn't just the field goals. They missed some touchdown passes. They had some real opportunities here in this first quarter. The first, remember the corner pass they threw on the outside. It was the first one to Aubrey Hill, number 82. Now, Shane Matthews had him. I think Matthews thought he was going to run more of an out route, and Hill ran kind of a corner route, but that was one missed touchdown. A little bit later in a different drive, Shane Matthews to Houston on the corner route was open there, but overthrew him. So they missed those 2 opportunities. It could be a 14-0 game. Instead, we have a 0-0 score.
You know, I guess the question you have is, since playing that last game, can you lose some of that rhythm, some of the timing as a quarterback?
In a passing game, yes, you can, Gary. I think it's much easier to get back into the flow when you're a running team. More difficult when you're a finesse and a throwing team as Florida is.
Here we start the second quarter. North Carolina State with a 2nd and 7. Jordan on the option, and it's stacked up. A lot of blue shirts in the vicinity of the 42-yard line. He tried to go wide, and they're trying now to get that option going. The one thing that Steve Spurrier kept saying is we watch tapes. In every game, North Carolina State has something a little different for you, the defense.
Yeah, and you have to prepare for all those things. I mean, there's Dick Sheridan. We talked about how good a coach he is. I mean, he actually looks like the kind of guy that knows how to operate his VCR. I mean, unlike you, Gary.
Film anymore, right?
I'm still trying to program my VCR. That's my New Year's resolution. I'm going to learn how to get that flashing 12 out of there.
Well, that's encouraging. A Rhodes Scholar can't do that. 3rd down and 8. Jordan up the field, and the catch is made by Ray Griffiths. Nope, no, it is not. He had it for a moment. Good coverage on the near side. Ray Griffiths almost came up with a catch at the 48-yard line.
I'll tell you, it was terrific coverage by Lawrence Hatch, number 18, who's actually the third corner, but is starting tonight. I mean, he reacted quickly. The thing about the Florida defensive backs is you may be open for a while, but you're not going to be open long because they have tremendous, and I mean tremendous, catch-up and make-up speed.
Hatch is starting because Del Spear is out. Monty Duncan back to receive the punt from Kilpatrick on a 4th down. Duncan from the 10. Brings it out short of the 20-yard line and is dropped there. So with no score as we've started the second quarter, that was a 48-yard punt, a 9-yard return. And let's go back to the sideline, and here's Craig Sager.
Well, Gary, Steve Spurrier may have unretired his number 11, also the number of John Brantley, but he did want to pay tribute and honor the six members of the University of Florida family who died in a plane crash on the way to the SEC championship game against Alabama. So before tonight's game, he had the equipment manager put a number 6 decal on each of the helmets. All the players honoring those 6 at tonight's Gator Bowl.
Wow, that brings some things into perspective. Here's a little shovel pass to Rhett, and Eric Rhett brings it out to the 30 for a first down. You know, they scored on a play like that against Alabama in the SEC championship game. That little shovel pass forward, an 11-yard gain on the play.
And it's the functional equivalent of the draw play, which we said is the key for this Florida attack. And it's a funny little pitch by Shane Matthews. And you're right, they ran it, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 times against Alabama in that championship game. Virtually every time successfully.
Scored the first touchdown of that game. Matthews back to throw on a first down over the middle. Jackson, the intended receiver. That's Jack Jackson, not to be concerned with Willie Jackson. Not related. This guy is a freshman and sets freshman records at Florida for yards as well as catches. He is their speed guy, their fastest wideout.
Well, you know, the Gators have 3 receivers they use a lot. Maybe 4, actually, but 3 of them they use prominently, and they all do different things. And as you mentioned, Jack Jackson is their deep guy. Willie Jackson, number 22, is kind of the in-between or over-the-middle type of receiver. And Harrison Houston is the guy that's very good after the catch.
So Jackson 2, if you will. Second down 10. Far side to Rhett. Rhett makes the first guy missing, and he's able to get across the 30 to the 33-yard line as Dwayne Washington from his quarterback spot over to make the tackle.
My wish for 1993, Gary, is that your sense of humor improves, but it was a nice attempt. I like that. That's good.
Working with you, I've lost my sense of humor.
Hey, by the way, I really want to thank you for those 3-way light bulbs you gave me for Christmas. That was a really nice gift.
You had a lifetime bulb, so.
3-way on. Still, why the three-way then?
Third down and 7.
Another nice Christmas gift from Gary Bender.
Well, I sent you something anyway. 3 wideouts on a 3rd and 7. Matthews with a crossing pattern over the middle to Rhett, and Eric Rhett very close to the first down. He needs to get across the 40, and he apparently is about a half yard short of that.
You know what North Carolina State has done a good job as they did on this play is making sure they're catching or tackling Eric Rhett after, as soon as he catches the ball. When he has been dangerous all this year, he's been very good after the catch, but that's, I think, 3 times tonight is right when he's caught the ball. There's been a Wolfpack defender or 2 to bring him down.
And especially Tyler Lawrence. He's done an outstanding job in the open field. So 4th down, less than a yard, they're going to punt it. Shane Edge will punt away. Ricky Turner will go back for North Carolina State. Beautiful punt. Turner signals for the fair catch and makes it inside the 15-yard line. That'll be a 46-yard punt. North Carolina State with the ball. No score. 11:56 to go here at the 48th annual Gator Bowl.
After a hard day in the outback, dreams of the good life come easy. At Outback Steakhouse, we decided to bring these dreams to America. Well, most of them anyway. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
My dandruff shampoo is good.
Better try something else. Mine really works.
You'd better try something else, like Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it more than all leading brands. Selsun Blue. Doctor recommended #1.
Everybody wants a battery that goes the distance, but you never know when they're about to run out of gas. Only Duracell has the Copper Top Battery Tester, so you can be sure your batteries will keep going down the road. You can't top the Copper Top.
Thurman Thomas's halfback option pass to quarterback Rusty Hilger gave the Cowboys the early lead. But the Gamecocks countered with some razzle-dazzle of their own, with running back Quentin Lewis hitting Chris Wade for a 24-yard score. Yet it was the extra effort of Barry Hanna's 9th reception of the night that gave Oklahoma State the 21-14 win. Thurman Thomas finished that game with a 155 of the Cowboys' 165 rushing yards. I don't think people realize what a great NFL player he was going to be.
Yeah, he hasn't slowed down since.
Nope. Barber and Maynor in the backfield. First down for North Carolina State. And all of a sudden, Ellis Johnson's on top of Jordan before he can pivot and make the play. Ellis Johnson is a sophomore. Lettered last year as a true freshman, and has really come on the last few weeks for this Gator team.
And Ellis Johnson right here, watch how quick he is off the ball. And this was one of the defensive game plans of Ron Zook, their defensive coordinator. They wanted to match up Ellis Johnson on the guard or the center and try to get a single block, because they feel if you tried to single him, he's going to out-quick you, as he did right there.
Loss of 6 yards on the play. 2nd and 16, Hour in motion, pitch to Barber. Barber comes across the 10, hit very hard as he's able to cross the 15 to the 16-yard line. So they get a little operating room. That time it was Michael Gilmore, the safety, up to make the stop for Florida.
As you watch the Florida defense play, we've talked about them being a bit unusual. I think it's clear that it's tough to be methodical against them. You can't grind it out against this Florida defense because of all the blitzing and aggressiveness. If North Carolina State's going to win this, Gary, I think it's going to come on some big plays. That's what's going to have to come.
They need a big play now. 3rd down 8. They're 1 of 5 thus far on 3rd down conversion. Jordan on the option. Cuts it up across the 20. Takes a real shot as he's apparently short of the 1st down. And Gilmore, a sophomore out of Chipley, Florida, who is an all-academic SEC pick, knocked him backwards and held him short of the 1st down.
Gilmore's the free safety on the option play. The free safety has to take the quarterback in the alley play, in the alley runs. That's that area just outside the tackle, and that's exactly what Michael Gilmore did.
Well, he only has a 3.87 GPA in zoology, something that I didn't get into a lot in my career.
What, the 3.8 or the zoology?
Both. Boy, you're quick tonight.
Well, disappointed you're surprised.
Kilpatrick didn't get all of this one. Duncan comes up. He'll take it to the 50. And he's going to be stopped short of the 40-yard line. So again, Florida will start at the North Carolina State end of the field. Not a good punt. 31 yards. 12-yard return. And the Gators winning the field position battle, but still no score.
The Outback Steakhouse Gator Bowl is brought to you by The Prudential. In a changing world, one thing remains rock solid.
Start saving $300 a month when you're 23, and you could retire a millionaire. Start at 30, and you might reach 600,000. At 40, about 200,000. Which is why you need Prudential's Financial Assessment Program. A personalized computer analysis of where you are, where you want to go, and how we can help. Because nobody plans to fail. They just fail to plan. Call Prudential Insurance now.
3 times the action. Don't you just love him? 3 times the excitement.
I'm chaos and he's mayhem.
3 times the laughs.
Oh, that's great.
The hottest video in America. Lethal Weapon 3, now on video cassette.
Ford Taurus and a Happy New Year. Get the best lease ever. Or very special savings on any new Taurus from now until January 5th. In other words, Happy New Year from Ford Taurus.
You quit looking at my ISO monitor.
Jacksonville, Florida Downtown area, the Gator Bowl, located about 5 minutes from the middle of the town. And Sunday, the Phoenix Suns, who have won 14 in a row, 14-0 in the month of December, going against the San Antonio Spurs. John Lucas, their new coach. 8 o'clock Eastern time Sunday, and Sir Charles Barkley will be there. Yeah, boy, he would have been a great tight end.
Oh boy, he's not too bad a basketball player.
No, he's not. He is king of the hill as far as the Phoenix area is concerned. First down now. Again, excellent field position for the Gators. Matthews over the middle. The completion is made to the 25-yard line. That's the tight end again, Greg Keller, the junior out of New Orleans. 17-yard gain to the 25.
This has been a game of field position thus far. Florida, 3 of their last 4 drives have started in North Carolina State territory. And that time, the tight end, Greg Keller, did a real nice job of just finding that area right behind those linebackers. And when you run the draw successfully, you run the ball inside, there's going to be some area behind linebackers.
Keller and also his backup, Charlie Dean, were effective against Alabama catching the ball. First down at the 25. Matthews being flushed out, being chased by Tyler Lawrence, and he'll go out of bounds in the vicinity of the 23-yard line.
Well, that looked like he was going to have a big play there. Didn't it look like he was going to be able to scramble for a lot of yards, but Tyler Lawrence, number 58 of the Wolfpack, really took a terrific angle and forced him out of bounds out of a short game. This is a guy, Tyler Lawrence, you mentioned earlier. He's had a big season for them. And he has done it in a lot of ways. In the running game, he's got some speed in the passing game. They'll also use him as a pass rusher. He'll become a defensive tackle in some nickel situations.
1 of 2 all ACC picks at linebacker. Second down and 8, a gain of 2. Matthews now changing the play. 4 seconds on the play clock, and he didn't call the right play, obviously, because Covington coming through. Now we have a flag. It may have been blown dead before the snap of the ball.
I think the time clock may have expired.
Well, I looked up and it had 4, I thought, about the time he was ready to take the snap. Let's see. Ron Winter, our referee. It's the first flag of the game, by the way.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. Second down.
Yeah, I thought they had the ball snapped in time because I remember looking at the play clock.
Well, here's why you had the false start, because everybody's worried about this blitz in here and some of these men coming in. That when you see a linebacker up there that close to the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can get a little nervous. Well-timed blitz by Covington, and this is what Buddy Green's defense will do. Once you get into scoring territory, they're going to come after you. They're going to blitz, and that means it gives you some opportunities in the throwing game.
Second and 13 after the penalty. Matthews connects. Aubrey make that Willie Jackson to the 15, to the 10. And they get all that yardage back and then some. First and goal. A 19-yard gain on the play.
Willie Jackson was saying that Shane Matthews puts the ball right where you can catch it, and so you can do something with it after the catch.
Willie Jackson's dad played also for the Gators. In fact, he was one of the first black athletes to play at the University of Florida and wore the same number for the Gators. First and goal at the 9. Matthews over the middle. Time pattern intended for Jackson. He got hung up that time, and Willie could not clear. He thinks maybe he was held up, and it'll bring up a second and goal.
Let's go back to the previous play, and we just talk about matchups. And what you like is a wide receiver right here is Jackson against a linebacker right there. That is number 36, Damian Covington. Because if you have a matchup like that and you throw the ball on time, you're going to have plays like that. And that's what Florida's offense does. It's well designed because they force a lot of one-on-one matchups.
Second and goal from 9. Oh, we got some fog moving in here. Back to throw. Matthews out of the back. He just got rid of it. He had pressure coming that time from Keith Battle, a linebacker. Third and goal now as North Carolina State stiffening inside the 10.
I can't say enough about this North Carolina State defense and what Buddy Green, the defensive coordinator, has done, because they have been under duress and pressure virtually this entire first half. But they've blitzed down here. Said once we get down to scoring territory, we're going to blitz. Earlier it was Damian Covington. That play was an outside linebacker, Keith Battle.
There's the fog. You know, Shane Matthews has already thrown 23 passes. And we are in the second quarter with 8.5 minutes left. Third and goal. Pressure coming, gets rid of it again, far side, and the catch is incomplete. No, Charlie Dean, the tight end, came back, tried to roll up with it in the end zone, and so they have been denied 6 points. They're going to have to settle for the field goal.
Well, the blitz has worked again for the Wolfpack. But it really was a terrific throw by Shane Matthews because he was under a lot of pressure. Hung in there, threw it, took the hit, and his receiver had a chance to make the catch.
Boy, that's good coverage, though, isn't it? Covington, the linebacker?
Yeah, that may have been pass interference.
So this will be a 26-yard field goal attempt. Already missing from 32 and 37 has been Davis. Trying to get on the scoreboard. This kick is on the way, and he got it. So after missing his first two, the Gators have scored first. 8:26 to go in the second quarter of play. And at the Gator Bowl, the Gators lead it 3-0.
Saturday night, Milwaukee and Atlanta, right in the middle of the toughest division in the NBA, and every game counts. Big time. The Hawks and the Bucks, live at 8:05 Eastern Saturday night on TBS.
Let's decide.
I want the beach.
Mommy, I just want to have fun.
Well, how about some golf?
I think I've got it. Look at this. Jacksonville, Florida. It's got everything.
Jacksonville, Florida, your everything vacation destination. Call today, 1-800-733-2668.
Introducing the 32-valve, 280-horsepower Lincoln Mark 8. And the only interior that can keep up with it. Drive the new Lincoln Mark 8, but drive everything else first. The new Lincoln Mark 8, what a luxury car should be.
Hey, let's talk Elvis.
The king of rock and roll. I'm Paul Provenza. Join me as I travel across America talking to people who are keeping the legend alive. A TBS original production. Elvis USA. Friday, January 8th on TBS.
Let's go back to the play right before the field goal by Florida. We said it may have been pass interference. Notch number 36, the linebacker, who gets his hands early on Charlie Dean and pushes him. That should have been a pass interference call. It was a no call. And it forced a field goal attempt, which was converted, and Florida leads 3-0.
He almost rolled up with it anyway. So now, kicking off will be the Gators after that 26-yard field goal. Covington keeping them out of there touchdown-wise. And this fog now is really starting to close in on the Gator Bowl. It's been foggy all week long. The sun broke through about 3 hours ago, but it's not going to come back tomorrow, it doesn't look like. Here's a kickoff now to Aubrey Shaw, and Shaw with a flag thrown, able to get out to the 27-yard line. So North Carolina State has had a tough time moving the football. They have only 43 yards in total offense, as opposed to Florida's 142. Let's see if they start from the 27 or if it comes back. Going to be holding against North Carolina State. Our producer, Peter Lasser, telling us that they had fog so bad here they could hardly see anything in the air, anything that was kicked.
Yeah, 1981 game, all the punts were lost. I guess call out a fair catches in those kind of games, right?
I'll send you down on the sideline if it gets that bad, and we'll just have you describe the action from there.
And I'll look back up and say, Gary, you've never looked better.
Remember that game in Soldier Field?
Yeah, it was a playoff game, wasn't it, a couple years ago?
Well, let's hope it doesn't get that bad.
Holding on the return. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
So from the 15 is where the Wolfpack will start, and that's not what Dick Sheridan wanted. He needs to have some success.
And he needs to have a big play because they're not going to grind it out against Florida's defense. And how do you get that? You don't necessarily have to throw the ball downfield. Try a screen pass. They've had some successful screen plays this year.
Nader, the running back, play action. Jordan stepping up, delivering on target. Lawrence with the catch, run out of bounds just short of the first down.
Here comes the flag for the late hit.
Yeah, Larry Kennedy was over there to make the contact. Now Lawrence had hurt his shoulder earlier, and it looks like the same area that he's now writhing in pain.
Terry Jordan gets his feet set, Gary, as he did on that one, he can throw a frozen rope. I mean, he can really deliver it very accurately. He's not a great ad-lipper, but when the play goes as designed, Terry Jordan is a very effective quarterback. Steps inside the rush, the perfect throw right on the numbers, and there's going to be a late hit here after he's driven out of bounds. There's the late push.
Monty Groh was the guy that was pushing behind Larry
Personal
Kennedy.
foul, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So they get out of a real hole. They were at the 15-yard line. Now, after the penalty and the completion, have it just across their own 38. Most penalized team in the SEC, as you can see by that graphic. And that's got to drive Spurrier crazy. Hand off to Barber. Barber, that cutback ability, across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Barber this year averaged 6.1 per carry. Last year, 6.2. Went over 1,200 yards rushing.
And you know, when you have a 1,200-yard rusher, you generally have a 1,200-yard blockers as well, working on Reggie Lawrence. But Dick Sheridan said that the thing that he was most happy about with this team, as it turned out, was how well his offensive line played.
Second down 3 now for NC State. 3-0 Florida. 7.5 minutes to go in the first half. Jordan over the middle. It's complete. Ryan Schultz, the tight end. First down to the 31-yard line of Florida. A 23-yard completion to Schultz, who caught only 7 passes in the regular season of play.
That's the kind of play we're talking about in a big play. It was a 2 tight end set. It's an adjustment by North Carolina State. They haven't been running too much 2 tight end this game, but a little seam pass by the tight end, Ryan Schultz. Comes off the tight end, a good read and a nice touch pass by Terry Jordan over the linebacker.
Hand off to Barber. Barber straight ahead, able to take it to the 27-yard line. So North Carolina State, after that completion and the penalty, now moving the football for the first time as Ed Robinson, the inside linebacker, makes the stop for the Gators.
Well, Dick Sheridan's team has thrown the ball once outside to Reggie Lawrence. They've thrown the tight end to the tight end Schultz once. They've run the ball a couple of times to Anthony Barber. And because of that diversity, that's why this drive has been successful. 2nd and 6, only the second time that State's been in the Florida end of the field.
The option, the ball comes loose, and the Gators have it. That is Johnny Church, the true freshman out of Fort Myers, Florida. So they were optioning the fullback, and they never made the exchange.
Well, when you run a true triple option, which North Carolina State does, you're never exactly sure whether you're going to give it to the fullback or not. And if you're going to have some exchange problems in a triple option, it's usually with the first option, the fullback. And I am not sure Terry Jordan was certain whether he was going to give the ball to him or not. He takes it away, and the ball is an easy recovery for Johnny Church.
At the 28 now, the Gators. Johnny Church didn't start because he missed some practices. But a true freshman, what a player he's going to be. And Rhett comes flying out of there to the 40-yard line. And I tell you, Pat, the fog is starting to become a little bit of a problem here.
It's not coming in on little cat feet. It's coming on big old hooves. It's coming in.
First down at the 40. Well, I guess you're not going anywhere tomorrow, right? You're just going to stay here for a while. Celebrate the new year. Rhett and now Bilkey is in at fullback for the Gators.
Well,
hand off to Rhett, I think. It wasn't that bad as he maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Rhett that time stacked up by the interior. I tell you, Merritt was one of those there to make the stop, and he's had a remarkable year, averaging almost 14 tackles a game. There he is, a senior out of Raleigh.
Yeah, I thought it was a mistake when I read that he had 167 tackles on the year. I thought maybe they miscounted or they added 30 from somebody else. That is a remarkable season by a middle linebacker, David Merritt.
Second down, 10 from the 40. Matthews play action. Looking up the field, gets it to Rhett. Rhett to the 50 and stumbles forward to the NC State 46-yard line. David Merritt there to make the stop, a 14-yard gain. Rhett caught 55 passes this year, 117 in his career. He is such a good receiver.
And he has such a nice feel for the game. A lot of receivers catch the ball. Watch number 33 in the middle of your screen. He just has the ability to kind of sneak out of the backfield and find a little soft spot as he did there.
Soft spot, I guess. First down now at the 46.5-yard line. Matthews giving straight ahead to play action fake. Instead, pulls it out, throws down the field, and it's complete to Trey Everett, and he goes out of bounds at the 15, and I was completely faked out on that. A 31-yarder.
Well, you were faked out because, A, the fog movement in number one. It's hard to, we're a long way from the field. And number two, they've set up that play action pass by running the draw play. Here's the play after the draw fake to number 5, Trey Everett, who ran that corner pattern. One of they're a great corner and post team, perhaps some of the best corner and post runners as receivers in college football.
31-yard pass completion just short of the 15-yard line. Matthews again changing the play. Back to throw. Being flushed out. He gets it off. It's complete to Charlie Dean, diving for the goal line. He's just short. It'll be first and goal there. Charlie Dean, a junior. A guy who started 3 games this year and had 2 catches against Alabama in that SEC championship game. First and goal.
Well, Charlie, we talk about receivers having a feel. Here's Charlie Dean, the tight end, right there. It's just a little delay to him. And Shane Matthews is using the entire field and using all of the receivers, his backs, his tight ends, and his wideouts.
First and goal. No, not there at all. Not able. Shane Matthews trying to sneak it forward. You know, I watched Matthews on sneaks earlier this year. He really has not gotten that kind of running done up the middle. He's not that big a guy. He's tall, but only weighs about 190 pounds. And boy, they stuffed that one.
He's built kind of like a one-iron.
A one-iron?
He's 6'3", 194 pounds. But he is, we talked about him using different receivers. 6 different receivers he has used thus far in the first half.
8 of them caught at least 15 passes this season. Second and goal, diving forward, and Rhett not able to get in. He was hit in midair. What a collision. David Merritt denied him 6 points. What a collision in midair.
You know, Buddy Green, the defensive coordinator, said, we don't appreciate David Merritt enough because he can play passing downs and short yardage plays like this. A perfectly timed jump by Merritt. I tell you, the defensive line did a good job there.
Did they ever?
Yeah, the defensive line created really an opening to allow David Merritt to make the play. So good penetration allowed both linebackers to step up.
We have a man down, and we'll try to pick up who that is as soon as possible. It's going to bring up a 3rd and goal. They may have lost some yardage. It's Rhett, the guy who tried to take it in. It is really getting foggy here. And I don't know how it looks on TV, but it looks worse in real time than it does on TV. Real time. What's real time? In real life, I guess I'm trying to say. 3rd and goal now at the 1. Willie Jackson comes in. Also Harrison Houston. 3rd and goal. Randolph, the single running back. 3 wideouts. And Matthews takes it in. Touchdown, Florida. And so the Gators, after taking a 3-0 lead, have now moved it to 9-0.
It was a good drive by the Gators, Gary. I mean, they ran some draws. They threw the ball to the tight end. They used the wide receivers. And they get the touchdown on the quarterback sneak. But there was a lot of different elements involved in that drive.
Point after attempt now coming up. Judd Davis out of the hold of edge. It's interesting, the crowd had a late reaction to the touchdown. They're not seeing that very well either. As point after attempt now by Davis. 3:46 left in the first half. And the kick is up. And it is good, and we got some pushing and shoving going on, and we have a flag. 2-3 flags. A lot of flags flying on this play. That was an 8-play drive covering 72 yards. Took 2 minutes and 53 seconds. Matthews on that drive was 3 of 3 passing. Ron Winter, Big Ten officials in charge of this game. And we'll see if this will be assessed after, I should say, on the ensuing kickoff. The Sheridan's team was moving it, and then that fumble, and Florida wasted no time.
Dead ball, personal foul, offense, dead ball, personal foul, defense. The penalties cancel.
And so it's a 10-0 game. Upsetting penalties. We'll be back. 3:46 to go in a very foggy first half of play.
Wouldn't it be great if your neighbor was Wally Dallenbach, the Keystone Beer Winston Cup driver?
Wally, great car. Want to take a first spin, Dave?
A spin?
And keep her under 170, Dave.
170?
See Wally Dallenbach, or possibly his neighbor Dave, race the Keystone Beer stock car in the Winston Cup Series.
Well, how'd you drive, Dave?
Well, she drifts a little in 3. No problem. But we need to bleed the brakes.
Wouldn't that be great?
Think all camcorders are the same? Look again. 2 lenses. Introducing the Sharp Twin Slim Cam, the world's only VHS camcorder with 2 built-in lenses. It shoots normal and new super wide. It has an instant zoom and Sharp's exclusive picture-in-picture. All on regular VHS tapes that play in your VCR. So take a second look. 2 lenses in the Sharp Twin Slim Cam, the world's smallest, lightest full-size VHS camcorder. The Sharp Twin Slim Cam.
Everybody hates to eat and run. We'd rather take it slow. But the way this life is going, gotta grab your food and go. And when all that running round catches up with you at last, get yourself some Alka-Seltzer and you'll feel better fast.
For acid indigestion or heartburn with headache, nothing's faster or more effective than Alka-Seltzer.
Get yourself some Alka-Seltzer and you'll feel better fast.
Atmospheric conditions and changes like this do not leave me in the fog. As a former meteorologist in Tampa, I will tell you that a heavy blanket of fog has rolled in off the Atlantic. The temperature right now is 62 degrees. The dew point is also 62 degrees. That means we have 100% humidity. The air can no longer disguise the saturation in the air. We have heavy fog, and it's not going to get any better. Gary?
I am impressed. I don't know if I understood it all, but I'm impressed. Aren't you, Pat?
Well, there's lots of things you don't understand. I understood all of it. Well done, Craig.
What he means is it's going to
foggy.
have fog the rest of the night. In fact, they made an announcement here on the PA a while ago. The good news is, folks, it's not going to snow. The bad news is it's going to get foggy. Kickoff this time. Taken on the near side by Aubrey Shaw for the Wolfpack, and he spins his way to the 29-yard line. Let's go back now to the touchdown.
Yeah, it was a well-designed quarterback sneak. Watch Jim Watson, the right guard. He's just going to step down here, and the quarterback, Matthews, is just going to step right behind him. See that big hole there in the Wolfpack defense? We're just going to seize that. It was an easy touchdown for Shane Matthews.
There's the drive. After that turnover, they wasted no time. 8 plays, 72 yards. Aubrey Shaw now in the backfield. We're going to have an end-around pitch to Eddie Goins. He's going to throw. Nope, he's going to run now. He thought about throwing, and he's scrambling for his life, and Monty Groh eventually tackles him for about a 2-yard loss on the play.
But that's the kind of play North Carolina State needs. Yes, it did not work. They trailed by 10 points in a game they really haven't had a lot of rhythm offensively, and you need something like that to break it up. But the key here defensively was Kevin Carter, number 57, who kind of stayed at home right there. He forced Goins to keep the ball, to go outside, and then he gets tackled by Groh.
It's the first time we really called Goins' name. Their leading receiver, who this year caught 46 passes. Loss of a yard, 2nd down and 11. Jordan changing the play. 3 receivers to the near side. Double pumping. And trying to make the diving catch is Ray Griffiths, just short of the 40-yard line. You wonder how tough it is for the quarterbacks to really spot those guys in their patterns now as they look up and into this fog. 3rd down and 11.
Well, it's going to make it increasingly difficult, I think, on North Carolina State in particular, because for them to win this football game, they're going to have to throw the ball. They're trailing by 10 points now, and they're going to have to come up with some games, some plays in the passing game, because this Florida defense will not let you grind it out and drive 80 yards using the running game.
Croton 4 of 8 for 41 yards. You saw on the graphic he's been sacked 3 times, setting a screen over the middle. There's a flag on the play. Eddie Goins coming up with the ball, and a wrestling match ensuing at the 25. A screen over the middle. Let's sort this one out.
That's the right kind of play. You give your best receiver, Goins, a chance to run with it after the catch. But Carlton Miles, the middle linebacker, just did a terrific job.
Going to be holding against North Carolina State. Goins actually made the catch at the 29. As you mentioned, Miles is with a burst, knocked him backwards. So they're going to have to punt the football.
Holding. Offense. Penalty decline. 4th down.
Kilpatrick back to punt to Monty Duncan. Now this has got to be a little bit of an adventure for Duncan to field his punt.
Yeah, there was the hold. You see, you saw McMillan, number 60, and the Gators get held. It was actually tackled, so it was an easy call by the umpire.
So Duncan, I'm sure, is peering into that fog bank, hoping to locate this one. Beautiful punt. Duncan backing up. Takes it at the 21-yard line. And he'll be stopped there. Coming up nicely on the play is Gallen. That'll be a 40-yard punt, a 7-yard return before number 8, Ed Gallen, a sophomore out of Lakeland, Florida, made the stop. So the Gators will have it now at their own 28-yard line with a 10-0 lead.
North Carolina State, land-grant university for the 21st century. A center for the sciences and technologies. A leader in undergraduate and graduate education. NC State, a university for the world of tomorrow.
The NCAA is about standards of fair play. These standards are the basis of competition for the more than 700 members of the association. The primary role of the Committee on Infractions is to assure that these standards of fair play and competition are upheld. We care deeply about intercollegiate athletics and strive diligently to make decisions that are in the best interest of the member institutions, their student athletes, and coaches.
This message provided by the NCAA.
10-0 here, Florida. Coming up at halftime, Craig Sager will bring you up to date on the other bowl action today and take a special look at the featured reptile of the day. I've watched that. That's an interesting piece. And that will be the Gator. And then we'll meet 2 of the defensive stars, Ricky Logo, the Wolfpack, Carlton Miles of Florida. Stay with us for our Gator Bowl halftime. And it's not Albert the Alba Gator. This other Gator,
you know,
is ferocious.
What is the Florida Gator known for? Very short arms. And Gary, that's why you got this nickname, Alligator Arms, because when it came to that dinner check again last night, he gave us the old alligator arms.
Oh, you are relentless. You are relentless. I'm going to have you have a New Year's resolution to quit picking on me. Matthews, 13 of 27, back to throw. Up the field, Trey Everett, the intended receiver. It'll bring up a 2nd down as Matthews picks himself up.
Eric Rett has had himself a very nice first half and been largely responsible for what's been going on with the Florida offense. I mean, he's got 51 yards rushing, 53 yards receiving, and 46 yards after the catch, running after the catch. So he's been very good after the catch.
2nd down, 10. Here is Rett, and Rett able to move it out close to the 35-yard line. 3+ yards short of the first down as Rett stopped that time by Keith Babbitt. You know, the interesting thing about the Gators, you were talking about how they throw for so many yards, but they still keep great balance in their offense.
You think of them as a passing team, but they are a running team. But you see there, Rett, they use the short passes to Eric Rett very much like a running game. The ball might be in the air for only a yard or 2, but he'll pick up 12 or 15 yards.
On a 3rd and 4, Matthews over the middle, incomplete. Keller, the intended receiver at the 45. That'll bring up a 4th down. Pretty good collision over the middle. Ricky Turner, who they feel's had his finest season, a senior out of Graham, North Carolina, was able to break that one up. So Matthews will retreat with 1:29 left in the first half.
North Carolina State, I think they need to come up with a play with special teams. They've struggled a bit offensively. Their defense has played pretty well. I think this is the time maybe you go after a punt. Come up with a play in special teams.
Edge to punt to Liddell George. 10-0, the Gators. Florida trying to break a 2-game losing streak. The punt to George. Going to let it hit. It takes a North Carolina State bounce, and Kevin Carter will down the ball at the 26-yard line. 39-yard punt. And so State will have it. 1:20 left in the first half. The Milwaukee Bucks, Mike Dunleavy's team, who got off to a very fast start, trying to get the pieces back together, going against the Atlanta Hawks here on TBS. Saturday, 8:05 Eastern Time. They're waiting for Nick to get back. Dominique Wilkins with a finger injury. What is it, a couple of weeks? I think he'll be back. First down from the 25. Jordan, a completion to the 30-yard line to Aubrey Shaw, is an excellent receiver. In fact, he's led the running backs in receiving the last 3 years. Gets it out to the 33-yard line. It'll be second down and 3.
One thing about college football, particularly with this fog, you think about it, is the ball itself has white stripes on it. So you can see it a little better as a receiver, unlike professional football.
From the shotgun now on a second down and 2, a completion for the first down to Shaw. Shaw, coming in here, had 19 catches. 1 year he had 34 his sophomore year as Miles and Hanks over to make the stop. First down, NC State, stopping the clock now as they move the sticks with 46 seconds left.
Long field goal of the year for the Wolfpack, 48 yards. So they have a long way to go. 46 seconds remaining. They do have 3 timeouts, though, available.
Clock running once again as they reset the sticks. Jordan from the shotgun. Pressure coming from Carter up the middle. Incomplete behind the intended receiver. At the 45, that's Eddie Goins.
He had Goins on the inside route on a square in. And that's what they're trying to do, is get the ball to their best receiver. That's Eddie Goins, while he's running away from the defender on a crossing route.
Stop the clock with 36 seconds. Second down. Second and 10. Jordan with protection, going deep, far side. Griffiths, the intended receiver, overthrown. Larry Kennedy had deep coverage all the way, and he actually was the deepest on that pattern. It'll bring up a third down.
Larry Kennedy has played well in this first half. Both defenses have, but Larry Kennedy, number 3. We saw him early in the game on an option play, get rid of a big lineman and make the tackle. There on the deep pass, he wasn't fooled, and nice coverage by Kennedy on that play. So he's done everything that's been asked of him as a corner. He stopped the run, and he stopped the deep throw.
Third down, 10. 30 seconds left in the first half. 10-0, the Gators. Jordan throwing to the far side, incomplete. Intended receiver was Neil Auer, the tight end, and so they're going to have to punt the football. I'm going to tell you, that had to be tough to see.
Yeah.
Auer coming over in the fog, trying to locate the football.
Terry Jordan has been under duress all evening. In his wrist, that ball got tipped, actually.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, by the outside rusher, number 57. That's Kevin Carter.
No wonder Auer had a tough time adjusting to the ball. Kilpatrick to punt. Duncan is back. And the fog is getting thicker. The punt. And I don't see the ball. Tommy Duncan's got it across the 30 to the 33-yard line. I don't know how Duncan saw it. We could not see the ball as it went into the fog bank. And so now, with 17 seconds left in the half, 35-yard punt sets the Gators up inside their own 35.
Well, Steve Spurrier, although he's leading 10-0, has to be disappointed that he didn't get those 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. I mean, he felt that he had the opportunity, didn't get them. His defense has played very well this first half. Very tough to get into rhythm because of the blitzing, the penetrating style the Gators have played, and that's why the Wolfpack has not been able to get any legitimate drives.
There's that little shovel pass to Rhett, and Rhett gets nothing, loses a couple of yards. Well, as the conditions deteriorate here, that 10-0 lead could be awfully big, as it'll be hard to throw the ball as it increasingly becomes foggier. So when Steve Spurrier has led at halftime as coach of the Gators, he is 25-1. And he has a 10-0 lead at the halfway point. Let's go to Craig Sager.
All right, yeah, we mentioned you're 25-1 going to the locker room with a lead at halftime, but what are your thoughts in the first half?
Well, hopefully we can throw and catch a little bit better than we did this half. State's played well defensively. Our defense has been sensational. Hopefully we can keep playing that way and take care of the ball and just keep playing and throw and catch a little better.
Throw and catch even with this fog?
Well, it's not real bad. It's a beautiful night to throw and catch. We've not done it very well.
Okay, Steve Spurrier with a 10-0 lead. Let's go back to Gary.
You didn't explain to him, Craig, what's happening here as far as the weather is concerned. You want another explanation of that. But 10-0, you made the point about the defense playing well, and certainly Spurrier has concurred with you.
Kept the ball away from their offense. We've gotten down in scoring position only one time, and we fumbled the ball. And, you know, we can't continue to do that. We're going to have to put some points on the board in this half. We just got to execute a lot better on offense, both the running game and the passing game. Third down plays are hurting us.
With the fog, does that affect your strategy in any way whatsoever, the passing?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. They can see okay.
Okay, good luck.
All right, thanks.
Gary?
All right, they were 2 of 8 on third down conversions, and he mentioned that turnover. That set up the only touchdown of the game. Jordan fumbled the football. They marched 72 yards, and here is the touchdown.
It was just a 1-yard sneak off a good block by Jim Watson, the right guard. But on this drive, Matthews was 3 of 3. And remember, he had thrown the ball to 6 different receivers, including his tailback Eric Rett on this little shovel pass. It's kind of an unusual toss, as you'll see. This is the thing that Florida has done so well this year, is get the ball to Eric Rett in the passing game and let him run after the catch.
Well, he had 6 catches in the first half for 53 yards, 57 rushing, so he had 110 yards. There's the 98 yards we're talking about, and the big turnover. At that stage, it looked like a Wolfpack was getting it underway. They were going to really march the ball.
Yeah, but they did turn the ball over. And Florida, on the other hand, they've had some opportunities. We talked about, and Steve Spurrier said right before halftime, hey, we got to pitch and catch better, throw and catch better. They've had some receivers open for touchdowns, and they weren't able to convert 2 of those opportunities in the first quarter.
Well, if you're Dick Sheridan, what can you get going offensively? They have not been able to run the ball very effectively.
Well, Gary, I think what has to happen, if your offense is not getting it done, your defense, your special teams, you know, you need to have something in the return game, and it starts right here, the kickoff return. The kickoff return for the Wolfpack. Give your offense an opportunity to open it up a little bit, but you're not going to drive the ball 80 yards, so you need a screen pass, somebody to take a 5-yard screen and turn it into 50 yards, some kind of play like that.
Well, when we came to the ballpark at 6 o'clock in sunny Florida, it looked very nice, didn't it? Beautiful weather.
Beautiful for evening.
And now we're going to show you sequential shots, and as time elapsed, our visibility was deterred a little bit. And there it is at halftime, and now you're looking live from the Gator Bowl. I don't know if you can see a lot, but you are looking live. Florida will kick off with a 10-0 lead. Barber waiting for it, has it at the 7-yard line. Anthony Barber out to the 20, 25, and gets some good field position to the 27. Terry Jordan had a tough time in that first half, sacked on 3 different occasions, suffered the fumble, and now he hopes to get this thing going.
Well, you look at some of the key players for North Carolina State. Their best runner is Barber. He only carried 7 times, and you're going to have to get the ball in his hands. The best receiver is Eddie Goins. He only had 1 catch. Now, a lot of that is because of Florida's defense. But if they're going to win this game, they have to get it in those 2 players' hands.
Barber and Maynor in the backfield in the I formation, and it's going to be Anthony Barber trying to bounce outside, and the blue shirts are there. Carlton Miles, who you saw that feature at halftime on him, was there first. He is such a leader. They were talking, Pat, last year he got hurt in the Sugar Bowl, hurt his back, and the team just kind of fell down a notch or 2. They missed his leadership.
Yeah, and the thing about Carlton Miles is he is always around the football. 142 tackles on the year, the 7th tackle of tonight. And what he does is he was telling us he reads the back formation, then to the offensive lineman's block, and then he just reacts and makes the tackle.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. That was his 7th tackle of the game, and that ball is not going to be a connection. Liddell George, the intended receiver, the junior out of Havelock, North Carolina. So it's going to make up 3rd down and 12. And Sheridan needs to get something going here at the start of this second half of play.
Well, the problem has been Florida has taken away the consistent run. They've also put on a very good pass rush, and Terry Jordan's been under duress most of the game. So it's going to have a receiver's going to have to take some sort of short pass and do it on his own.
You see what they've been doing on third downs thus far, 2 of 8. Jordan trying to set up a screen over the middle. Catch is made to the 25 by Neil Auer, and Auer will be considerably short of the first down. In fact, they're not back to the original line of scrimmage. It's 4th down and a yard to go. That was Miles again, and Gunner, the senior. Such a young football team, only 11 seniors in the top 44. They played 13 true freshmen this year. And of course, Miles is one of those seniors that gives them the leadership. Kilpatrick, the punt to Monty Duncan. 10-0, just underway, second half. Duncan looking into that fog, takes it at the 31-yard line. He gets to the picket line to the 40. He'll be knocked down short of the 45.
You know, Gary, you mentioned how young this Florida team is. I think it's going to be a top 5 preseason team next year. It was this year a little bit overrated, but you see what they have. Only 3 seniors on the starting offensive defensive depth chart. 7 of this year's starters are freshmen or sophomores, including their 2 offensive tackles. You know, Shane Matthews was saying, geez, I wish I could play behind this offensive line for a couple more years.
This may be the heir apparent to Matthews. Terry Dean, a sophomore out of Naples, Florida. They have a redshirt freshman they're excited about, too, Danny Werfel. Hand off to Rhett, and Rhett had 110 yards in total offense in the first half. Brings it out to the 47. Tyler Lawrence has made a lot of tackles for NC State. Makes a stop there. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 6.
You know, what Eric Redd did have the big first half, and there hasn't been a lot of penetration by this Wolfpack defense. And what that means is the offensive line for Florida has done a very nice job. Reggie Green on the left side, that the freshman tight end. I mean, Steve Spurrier said when they saw him in high school, they projected him as a starter as a freshman.
Rhett got the first down, breaking tackles all the way to the 40-yard line of State. David Merritt catches up with him, a 12-yard gain. You know, a lot of people had thought that maybe Rhett would come out early, but he was slowed this year with an ankle. And the last 4 weeks, he said he's healthy, so he's going to stay his senior year for Florida and have a better year yet.
And you see the hole that he had. And again, we just talk about offensive line. When you have 1,000-yard runners, you have 1,000-yard blockers, and that's what Florida's had this game. It's some very good blocking.
Rhett again, and Rhett this time moving the pile forward close to the 35. Covington on the stop. Covington and Merritt and Lawrence, the 3 linebackers, making a lot of stops. I don't think we've called that defensive line's name hardly all night. Reeves or Logo or Akins, 3 very good football players.
Well, but the problem, of course, Gary, is this defense has been on this field a long time. And it takes a lot more energy to play defense. That's why coaches are always concerned about how long the defense is on the field.
2nd down and 5, just short of the 35. Hand off to Rhett. They fake the pitch, and Rhett inside the 30. And he'll have another first down. Tyler Lawrence again on the stop. And this is a very methodical drive. It's the Eric Rhett drive. You want to be truthful about it. He has been the workhorse on this particular series.
And on that run, Reggie Green, the freshman tackle, number 78, you can see him come to the picture. N62 there. Dean Golden, the guard, is 78 and 62. The 2 left linemen, the guard and the tackle, just did a terrific job of locking their guys up, sealing them in, and then Rhett saw the little soft spots to the corner.
First down, just short of the 28-yard line, and movement on the right side. That's Jason Odom, one of the baby bookends, as they call him, one of the 2 true freshmen that started a tackle. The other's Reggie Green. They're big guys. This guy's 6'5".
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Odom is 6'5", 283. The other guy, Reggie Green, is 6'7", 301 pounds, number 78.
Yeah. Well, they wanted to actually redshirt Odom this year, but they had some injuries, and he was the best player available, and he's had a very good year.
So it'll be 1st and 15. The line of scrimmage, the 33-yard line. Boy, it is really getting thick down there now. Here's Rhett running around in the backfield inside the 30. Nice ad-lib effort to the 26-yard line. Covington over to make the stop as we approach 11 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. 10-0, the Gators. Brett now 18 carries, 93 yards. He had a remarkable game against Kentucky this year. The first game of the year at 193 yards. Second down, 8 from the 26-yard line of NC State. Matthews on a play action, rolling to the near side, and the catch is made by Keller. Keller's been one of his favorite targets as he goes out of bounds very close to the first down. They're going to mark it at the 17. It is a first down.
Remember we were talking about Shane Matthews throwing an easy ball to catch. I mean, he throws the tight spiral, as you're going to see him roll right to you, and he puts it right in front of the receiver, this time the tight end Keller. And that's when you have an easy ball to catch. This is the definition of one. He didn't drill it. Lots of time to look and find the receiver, but right in the numbers of the tight end Keller.
Keller has 3 catches now for 38 yards. And Matthews is changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Oh, far side, and I can't see it. Who is it?
Did they call a touchdown?
I guess so. It's going to be Willie Jackson, but they just disappeared in the fog bank on the far coffin corner, an 18-yard strike. I don't think very many people saw it. Jackson in the extreme corner coming up with it.
The field judge did a nice job, though. The field judge was right there to call the touchdown. A fade route to Willie Jackson. Started with protection, was the audible by Matthews. The throw over the top, he had beat them easily by putting a quick inside move. He throws it to the outside and lets the receiver run away from the defensive back. Good throw.
16-0. The Gators point after attempt. Up and through for Davis. Well, Willie Jackson had 8 touchdown catches in the regular season. 57-yard drive. 70-0, Florida.
The Outback Steakhouse Gator Bowl is brought to you by The Prudential. In a changing world, one thing remains rock solid.
Start saving $300 a month when you're 23, and you could retire a millionaire. Start at 30, and you might reach 600,000. At 40, about 200,000. Which is why you need Prudential's financial assessment.
Game is a reward for achievements during the regular season, but there are also achievements in the classroom as well. Steve Spurrier and Dick Sheridan are proud of their student athletes, and 2 of them have been honored here at the Gator Bowl. Hugh Connerty from Outback Steakhouse gave special plaques and special recognition to David Swain, an honor student in civil engineering, and also to Chuck Browning. Chuck Browning, a zoology major, a 4.0 grade point average in pre-med. 2 outstanding examples that if a player is coachable, chances are he's also teachable. Gary?
All right, Craig, thank you. Well, we have 10:27 left in the third. It's 17-0. The Gators on a 17-yard strike from Matthews to Willie Jackson. Kickoff will go to Shaw, and he'll go to a knee. They'll bring it out to the 20.
Gary, let's go back to that touchdown. And nothing makes a quarterback feel better than when he audibles to a touchdown. And that's what Shane Matthews did. This was an audible. And it was a perfectly timed in a touch throw. And it was that easy ball to catch as well. He throws it away from the defender out in front of Willie Jackson and allows him to separate from the defender when he goes and gets the ball.
Jackson led the SEC in catches and touchdowns. From the 20 now, Terry Jordan. Trailing 17-0. Play action. And complete to Lawrence, and Lawrence brings it out to the 30, very close to the first down.
Good defense tonight by Florida. It's caused some problems for North Carolina State's offense. You see the season average. Terry Jordan, the quarterback, in yards per game, 164, only 57 tonight. Barber is a 100-yard rusher on average, only 41.
And Goins, they just have not involved him in the offense.
Like you said, your best receiver and your best back, they have to get those guys the ball or they have no chance of winning this game.
First down it was to the 30-yard line. Barber trying to go wide, and Barber picks up 4 as he is able to hammer it out to the 34. Ed Robinson, the number 2 tackler this year for Florida, and Kevin Carter over to make the tackle.
The thing about offensive football, though, Gary, is it's so much about getting into the flow of a game and rhythm. And you just sense when you play against Florida, it's very difficult to do that. I mean, they're going to blitz. They play an unusual front. They're going to have a lot of penetration. And it's very hard to get into the flow of the game. And the Wolfpack offense has not been able to do it.
2nd down and 7 now for Jordan. On sideline, and that'll be Lawrence again. Lawrence has been banged up a couple of times, but hanging very tough in there. Picks up only a couple of yards, though, out to the 35. He has 4 catches for 35 yards.
I'll give Ron Zook, the defensive coordinator for the Gators, some credit here, because what he has done is he said, hey, we're going to take away Eddie Goins, their leading receiver. They've done that. Only 1 catch on the night. And they forced him to get the ball to Reggie Lawrence, the 4 catches, but he really hasn't been able to break anything after the catch. Good tackling after the catches by the Florida defense.
Well, North Carolina State came in here averaging 205 yards on the ground, almost 4.5 yards a carry. Jordan throwing the far side, and a diving attempt incomplete, as trying to come up with it was Audrey Shaw across the 45-yard line.
And that's the difference. Only 46 yards rushing tonight when they've averaged the 205. Pretty good protection that time for Terry Jordan. Had him just a little bit too much oomph on it. Carried him out of bounds.
So on a 4th down now, Kilpatrick will punt. 9:21 left in the 3rd quarter. 17-0, the Gators. Monty Duncan waiting. Will drop it. The ball is loose inside the 30, and North Carolina State's got it. That is a major break in this game. The first turnover for the Gators.
Well, we said when your offense isn't doing it, your defense or your special teams have to do it. And that's precisely what happened. Number 81 in a tremendous fog, Duncan. Now, I don't know whether the fog affected him or not, but clearly he went right through his hands, and I'm not sure which Wolfpack punt return guy recovered it. But that was the kind of break they did. Now they need to seize it. They need a play in the passing game right now.
Line of scrimmage just inside the 30 at the 29. Pitch to Barber. Barber inside the 30 and close to the 26-yard line. He's knocked down there. Barber, they have been so conscious of number 24, the outstanding year that he's had. He's had 7 career 100-yard days, 4 of them this season.
Now, a college football team averages about 7 possessions and a half, Gary. And with North Carolina State losing right now 17-0, this is a possession they must score a touchdown. I mean, you can't come away with just a field goal attempt. They need 7 points.
Gain of 2, 2nd down and 8. Maynard and Barber in the backfield. Mark Duffy goes in motion for NC State. They're going to call a timeout. So the Wolfpack, having some confusion, will use their first timeout with 8:25 left in the 3rd. 17-0 on this eve of a new year.
January 1st, 1993. They're coming from all corners of the globe. Mockingbird Lane, Mayberry, Beverly Hills, and even an uncharted desert island.
The minute you get a good thing, everybody wants in on it.
Their mission? To unite 4 of TV's funniest comedy specials for one hilarious day of...
Nip it. Bingo.
Fun on the 1st. Begins 10:05 Eastern New Year's Day on TBS.
Let's decide. I want the beach.
Mommy, I just want to have fun.
Well, how about some golf?
I think I've got it. Look at this. Jacksonville, Florida. It's got everything.
Jacksonville, Florida, your everything vacation destination. Call today, 1-800-733-2668.
You rode the same rides, ate the same junk, got the same heartburn. But his antacid's different from yours. His Tums has calcium. Most antacids don't. Regular Rolaids uses an aluminum salt. This uses aluminum and magnesium. So does this. Of all these, only Tums helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need every day.
Something my body needs anyway.
I like that.
Calcium-rich Tums.
We come back, 2nd down 8. North Carolina State asking for the timeout. And as we were talking during the break, they've got to get something out of this drive. More importantly, they need to get 7.
Well, we talked about you only get those 7 possessions a half. You can't waste any of them when you're trailing 17-0.
2nd down 8 at the 8:25 mark of the 3rd quarter. 17-0 Florida. Jordan over the middle. Howard, the tight end, and he's got it at the 5. 1st and goal.
A heck of a throw, a touch pass, and a catch by Auer when you know you're going to get hit.
Well, they said they've never had a tight end play any better than Auer, one of the co-captains for the Wolfpack.
The pre-snap read by Terry Jordan, you could see it in his eyes. You could see where he was going to deliver that ball. He read the coverage perfectly, and then he threw the ball to the tight end.
1st and goal from the 5. Jordan getting ahead to Maynor, and there's just nothing there. He was on that option to the fullback, pulled it out, and Maynor was hit by Ellis Johnson. Also Carter was there, Kevin Carter, and they're going to mark the ball. Let's see where they're going to mark it. Just about at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and goal from there.
If you're going to score against this Florida defense, I believe it's either going to be in the pass, or if you're going to run the option, it's got to get to the outside. Very tough to run inside with those inside linebackers of Florida.
They've actually moved the ball closer to the 6, so it'll be 2nd and goal. Jordan wanting to throw, near corner, Goins, and the ball's incomplete. Eddie Goins with Lawrence Hatch. One-on-one coverage on the near sideline, and Hatch, a junior college transfer, starting in place of the injured Del Spear.
Same kind of play that Florida scored on a moment ago. A little fade pattern, but right at the last moment, I think Hatch got his hand up to knock it away. I mean, the corners here, he knocked it away twice. The corners here for Florida have played remarkably well in the passing game, as you just saw there from Lawrence Hatch, and also in the run support game.
Hatch and Kennedy, the corners you're talking about. 3rd and goal. Shaw comes in motion. Jordan, throwback, far side. Lawrence, the intended receiver, but covered very well by Kennedy. 4th down.
Well, they're going to go for the field goal attempt because they had no rhythm there at all on any of 3 of those plays.
Boy, they went from sideline to sideline, did they? One corner to the other, and Florida was equal to it.
Well, remember they tried the fullback plunge first. Florida stuffs that for a 1-yard loss. Then they throw left. That's knocked away by Lawrence Hatch. They try a delay to the right. So any way you look at it, Ron Zook's defense did a good job there.
Steve Viditic will come in, a 23-yard attempt. 14 of 22, as you can see, for the year. Viditic's kick is on the way, and the kick is good. So State is on the scoreboard. 7:08, 3rd quarter. Florida's lead has been cut, but they still lead it 17-3.
It's a refreshing taste from a cold, cold place. Yeah, it's easy going down from the very first round. Pure as can be, it's a natural, you see. Wow. It's smooth, smooth, silver bullet smooth. Yeah, well, that's our story. Now it's your call. Cold Coors Light, it's the right beer now. That's all. Bye-bye.
With Russ Beeler's in-laws in town, he served KFC Super Value Buckets. Get 15 pieces of original recipe or a bucket full of hot wing pieces. The KFC Super Value Buckets, just $9.99 each.
We do chicken right.
Compare the new 32-valve, 280 horsepower Lincoln Mark 8 to everything else. Then you'll understand why, instead of introducing it, we decided to launch it. The new Lincoln Mark 8. What a luxury car should be.
It's 30 below, you've got a cold, cough, you've got a real problem.
We've added the leading cough suppressant to the proven cold relief of Alka-Seltzer Plus.
I have no sneezes, no coughs, no runny nose. I took Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and cough this morning.
Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and cough. It's tough medicine.
Welcome to sunny Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. As we end this year, 1992, this is not the kind of weather the Chamber of Commerce in Jacksonville would like to see.
You know, I was talking to some bowl people here at halftime. They've had 3 or 4 games like this with a lot of fog.
You weren't here for those, though?
No, I don't remember. I don't think so.
That's an inside joke. Anyway, kicking off now is 6-eye, and the kick is fielded, being run by Jack Jackson, and he'll bring it out to the 35, where they'll start this drive. Let's go down to Craig Sager.
Well, Gary, the fog has caused major problems. The communication from the field to the press box. Ted Kane, the offensive coordinator for NC State, is in the press box. He cannot see the field whatsoever. He is on his way down from the press box to maybe help call the signals here, because he says he's useless sitting up there where he can't even see the field.
I tell you, Craig, I'm coming down with you, okay? Just save me a spot. We'll start calling the game down there. We'll leave Pat up here, so if anything gets out of hand, he can keep us posted. Number 35, Rhett straight ahead, brings it out to the 40, gain of close to 5. It'll be second down 5. And Carl Reeves made the stop, but we mentioned him all night.
That's the first time.
Reeves is the guy who set a sack and tackle for loss record this year for North Carolina State, number 85, and I don't recall mentioning him at all.
You know, maybe the smallest defensive tackle in Division 1A football. He's only 219 pounds, but has had a very big season for the Wolfpack.
Got a delay right now. Charlie Dean, the tight end, was shaken up coming out of the ball game, so they get him off the field. Clock put back into motion. 6.5 minutes to go on the third. 17-3, the Gators. Rhett across the 40 to the 43. Going to be about 2 yards short of a first down.
Well, what's it going to take here? The defense now, the special teams of North Carolina State has caused the 1 turnover, which they converted to 3 points. Now the defense, which is playing okay for the Wolfpack tonight, they just been on the field too long, they need to cause a turnover. They got to start stripping the ball, stripping Eric Redd of the ball, guys like Matt and Akins, number 96, if they're going to have a chance of winning this thing.
Third down, make it a long yard to go. Driving forward is Rhett. He needed to get to the vicinity of the 45, and tough to see where he's ended up. We'll wait and see. They may have to measure on this one. They have the ball just short of the 45-yard line. Well, I would assume, Pat, now you can't assume a lot weather-wise, but I would assume the Hawaiian Open will have beautiful weather.
It always is. It's a great tournament.
United Airlines Hawaiian Open, January 14th through the 17th. They did get the first down.
Talk about a golf tournament where the players, I think, enjoy that Hawaiian Open as much as anyone. I mean, it's a very relaxed atmosphere. John Cook won it last year with some marvelous play on Sunday.
You played over there, haven't you?
Badly, yes. Made a lot of double bogeys.
So after the first down, a give to Rhett, and Rhett now should be over 100 yards, and you know what that means. Florida should win this football game. They are 13-0 when he rushes for 100 yards. He's at 104 right now.
Well as the Gator defense has played, as well as that man, Eric Rhett, has played, the Florida Gators are going to win this game. 5 minutes in the third quarter remaining, 17-3. You see that 13-0 when he has the 100-yard plus games. This is a very versatile player, Rhett. I really like what you see in him. Very good after the catch, strong inside runner.
Yeah, he's been slowed this year by the ankle, cut his numbers down after the 1,000-yard year last year. He came in at 903 into this game this season. As on a second down and about 3. Let's see if he got the first down.
You know, Steve Spurrier really does strive for balance, and you're seeing a lot of that with Eric Rhett tonight. They had a 3,000-yard passer this year, a 900-yard rusher in Rhett. 2 players caught at least 55 passes.
No gain on that last play. They give to Rhett running the far side, and looks like he got the first down. He needed 3 yards as he goes out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. You know, they need to keep the play on this side of the field. The further they get on that side of the field, a little bit more difficult is making our job up here. We have Mike Reed down for North Carolina State. Well, he's a ferocious hitter. Been such a leader on this team, a junior at the strong safety spot.
Yeah, this is a guy who was all ACC, and you understand why. 88 tackles. You see 3 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries. He blocked the punt as well.
Their secondary is something special. He and Sebastian Savage both made the first team all ACC, along with Ricky Turner, Dwayne Washington. Well, Spurrier's had a lot of weapons. They have done so many things well. And the success, winning the SEC championship a year ago, getting into the SEC inaugural championship game this year, and with such a young team, does it bode well? First down, line of scrimmage, the 41-yard line. Red again. Boy, is he getting a workout. Inside the 35 to the 34. Pickup of 7 yards on the play.
You know, Eric Redd is not, maybe he's not going to outrun a lot of people. He doesn't maybe have that breakaway type of speed. But in a small area, even with a number of defenders around him, he's able to move enough to pick up 4 or 5 yards. He can make 6 yards out of 2. I think that's a sign of a very good back.
118 yards now for Rhett. Second down, 3 yards to go. Number 33 again. This time a lot of congestion as he goes inside the 35. Keith Battle made the stop there. Florida 15th ranked coming into this game. Unbeaten at home. Also coming in here earlier this year to beat the Georgia Bulldogs in that annual affair. In fact, Florida's won the last 3 games against Georgia here in the Gator Bowl. Charlie Dean, by the way, is back into the football game, so he's able to shake off the injury. Third down 3. Rhett's got the first down inside the 25.
You're looking at some domination by the offensive line right now, the Florida Gators. And a very tired, I think, North Carolina State defense. And this has been a drive that's featured Eric Rhett and the offensive linemen.
In fact, in this drive, 8 plays, all of them by Rhett.
And you see the gaping holes there. I mean, the offensive linemen are sticking on their blocks. They're not letting any Wolfpack defenders slide off the blocks, and that's why Rhett has had a terrific drive here.
Randolph and Rhett in the backfield. First down just inside the 25. Matthews, well, why throw when you're running so well, huh? And he pays for that one. Akins was in there, and that's the first time John Akins has been a factor. He played so well this year. He had 4 sacks and 17 hurries. That's a loss of 10 yards. So John Akins.
Well, here is Akins right here. He's number 96. He's going to come up on the outside. Both inside linebackers are blitzing. That frees up to tackle Akins. A well-designed blitz. And Matthews had called an audible. He was trying to get something off in a quick throw, but the 2 linebackers and the defensive tackle prevented it.
Second down and 20 now as we go inside. 2 minutes left in the third. Here is a draw. Delayed handoff to Rhett, and Rhett will take it to the 31. Got some of it back. Covington yet on the stop.
In the first half, Florida threw 29 passes. This half, they've only thrown 3. So it's been a complete different game plan for Steve Spurrier this second half. The weather maybe have something to do with that. Certainly the 17-0 lead at that point had something to do with it. 17-3 now.
Well, they've held the ball, Pat, for over 5 minutes on this drive as we have 1:25 left in the third. Second down, still 17. Make it third down, 17 yards to go, and timeout now being called by Florida. So the Gators with 2 timeouts left. Also the Wolfpack. 17-3. Shane Matthews and his teammates looking for their 9th win of the year.
People ask me every day, what is the NCAA? NCAA members make rules to protect the interests of student athletes and the integrity of competition. NCAA members set standards for academic and athletic excellence. The NCAA is presidents, faculty members, athletic directors, coaches, even commissioners. It's as simple as this. We are the NCAA.
In 1969, Gator quarterback John Reeves rolls to his left and spots his favorite receiver, Carlos Alvarez, as the Gators defeat the Vols of Tennessee 14-13. And John Reeves, of course, went on to play for Steve Spurrier in the USFL, the Tampa Bay Bandits.
Yeah, he had some big years, 4,000 yards in passing. He could really wing it. And
now the tight ends coach.
Yeah, he and Alvarez. What a combination in college they were for a couple of years there.
Carlos Alvarez. Well, this is the 11th play of this drive. It's taken 5 minutes and 37 seconds. 3rd down and 17. Nobody in the backfield. 4 wideouts, 3 to the top of the field. Matthews being flushed out by Akins. And on the far side, the catch is made by Jack Jackson. And his forward progress will be at the 25-yard line.
That was another one of those innovative sets of Steve Spurrier's, the no-back situation. Now, with the no-back situation, people try to blitz that or like to blitz it. And I actually thought that Shane Matthews didn't have to scramble us when he could have stepped up inside the rush of 96 Akins, but he chose to go outside and roll away from the pressure and get the ball to number 1, Jack Jackson.
Judd Davis, who's missed 2 and hit 1 field goal, will attempt this one from 42 yards, and the kick through the fog and all is good. So Davis, after missing his first 2, has come back, hit a 26-yarder, and now a 42-yard field goal. Well, he almost got the sense on that drive, Pat. But the Gators really did him a favor when they started to try to throw the ball on that audible, because Rhett was just grinding them down.
Well, Steve Spurrier thought it was very important for his team to win this game. A, to get that tough loss to Alabama off their minds. Yep. And B, for him to win his first bowl game. And also, it really is something to build on for this very young team that he has returning next year, a team that clearly, I believe, is going to be competing for the SEC crown again.
So you're going to predict what? Ranked number, what, 3 or 4?
Yeah, they're going to be a top 5 team.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now, this win tonight, if they hang on here, would give Spurrier his 3rd consecutive season with 9 wins or more.
You know, I really like his offense, too. He's a guy, we talked about him being so innovative. He went to Duke as the offensive coordinator under Red Wilson, and Red Wilson said, hey, do whatever you want, and he really made it up. I mean, it wasn't this, he didn't borrow from this guy or that guy or this guy. He has made this offense up, and he's developed it. It's been trial and error. He's made some mistakes, he said, but a new wrinkle virtually every week for him.
Well, as you mentioned, they've averaged 311 yards passing all those years at Duke and Florida. Kickoff to Aubrey Shaw, and Shaw is going to be pushed backwards. He got across the 20 to the 22-yard line. North Carolina State trailing 20-3 now with 1 minute and 2 seconds left. Look at this. This will document what you're talking about.
30 points a game, 447 yards a game now. This is at Duke in Florida. But the 311 yards pass a game to me is really incredible. Look at tonight's statistics for the Gators.
Well, their offense down a little this year, but look at the yards they have in this one. They last year averaged 460 yards a game. Over the middle. Catch is made by the tight end, Neil Auer, and he'll be dropped in the vicinity of the 30-yard line. Auer's been pretty effective. His brother, Scott, was also a co-captain for State back in '88. He was a linebacker. And Neil Auer, an all-ACC academic pick. He has 3 catches for 30 yards.
Yeah, Dick Sheridan was saying about Auer that he's had a terrific year for us. He's been a good blocker, a very good receiver. He's one of our co-captains. Thinks he's going to have a future.
2nd down and 2, a gain of 8, and Barber trying to get the first down. Boy, Barber has just not had any running room. He's had to work for everything in this game, and of course that's one of the keys. They wanted to shut down the run. He has 49 yards on 11 carries.
Well, remember this Florida defense, what they did they held Garrison Hurst of Georgia to 41 yards earlier this year.
Flag on the play. The first down now for North Carolina State. I guess there's a flag on the play. Can you see it down there?
I cannot see the field.
First down now. The line of scrimmage to 33. Anyway, it's a first down for State. Jordan now changing the play. And they're going to have to hurry. They just got it off before the end of the third quarter. Jordan throwing up the field incomplete. And he had somebody in his face instantly. And that somebody was Ben Hanks. And so we have completed 3 quarters of play in this 48th annual Gator Bowl. 20-3, Florida with the lead.
After a hard day in the outback, dreams of the good life come easy. At Outback Steakhouse, we decided to bring these dreams to America. Well, most of them anyway. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
We have so much to celebrate. Corbel Champagne.
Florida with a 20-3 lead as we start the fourth quarter.
Hey, Craig Sager, let's just say, your kicker gets hurt. And let's just say you're North Carolina kicker. You'd probably be really concerned if your kicker got hurt, wouldn't you?
Well, Pat, you would, but not here at NC State. The only points provided by a field goal kicker, one of 8 field goal kickers. Steve Vitek with a field goal, Mark Permani another. Why 8 field goal kickers on NC State?
Well, Coach Sheridan and his coaching staff like to have a lot of kickers on the team so they can, they like to work with you a lot and hope like one day that you'll have the opportunity to be out on the field, and also it pushes the older kickers such as Vitek and Six-Eye and Osborne to be the best they can be.
Well, you're number 1 on your jersey. Where are you in the depth chart?
Well, right now I'm not really sure, but, things are looking all right so far.
I don't know. I think that's as foggy an answer as the weather, Pat.
I'm not sure he knows. Do you? Jordan comes out throwing. We start the fourth quarter. Kennedy, I think, had a hand on that one as Goins, the intended receiver, at the 45-yard line.
So your first 6 or 7 kickers get hurt. Let's imagine your first 7 kickers get hurt. Then what do? You bring in the number 8 kickers.
Well, that's the way it was at USC. How many quarterbacks do you have? 8 or 10? Something like that.
Yeah. All of them better than I. Yeah.
Well, we have still 14:55 to go in this game. Incomplete pass, stopping the clock. 20-3. Gators at the lead. Jordan back again. Far side, and the catch is made by Aubrey Shaw, and Shaw out across the 35 to the 37. Marty Groh and Michael Gilmore on the stop for the Gators.
Well, if the Gators go on to win this football game, which it certainly looks like they're going to, the defense is going to be responsible for it. Ron Zook, the defensive coordinator in particular, they've only allowed 49 rushing yards by North Carolina State. They came in as a running team, averaging over 205 yards a game, and they've completely thrown them out of rhythm and out of their game plan.
They had 22 rushing touchdowns, NC State did. Fourth down now, 6. Gilpatrick, low snap, gets it underway. Monty Duncan looking up, and boy, it must be tough. Has the ball, running inside the 20 to the 22. 44-yard punt that time. Roger Riley, our statistician, says give or take a yard or two in the fog. 14:05 left. The Gators with a 20-3 lead.
The Outback Steakhouse Gator Bowl is brought to you by The Prudential. In a changing world, one thing remains rock solid.
With each new day, you find a way to be your best.
Gillette Sensor for the closest, safest shave ever.
You know you gotta be a little better than the rest.
Only Gillette Sensor has spring-mounted twin blades that sense and adjust to every detail of every face. Gillette Sensor, when you're the best, there's no feeling like it.
Gillette, the best of men to get.
Introducing the 32-valve, 280-horsepower Lincoln Mark 8. And the most powerful argument we can make on its behalf. Drive everything else first. The new Lincoln Mark 8. What a luxury car should be.
Gators 20, the Wolfpack 3, and U.S. Olympic Gold has moved to a new network at a new start time. Tune in to TNT this Saturday at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern for figure skating, the NHK Trophy from Tokyo, Japan. Jim Simpson and Peter Carruthers will bring you all the action. U.S. Olympic Gold this Saturday on TNT, 5 o'clock Eastern. Well, our cameramen have their work cut out for them. Here is Steve Henry in the end zone. He's there somewhere.
Where's Steve?
In that vicinity, right above the clock, we've been told by our producer, Peter Lasser. We'll take his word for it.
Well done, Steve. Yeah.
I tell you, Tom Delnos, our spotter, he's bug-eyed up here, trying to spot everybody. There is Steve Henry's shot. Roger Roddy, our statistician. And
well, the whole crew has done a heck of a job here.
They have, just trying to locate the football. And speaking of that, it's going to be a first down for the Gators. Line of scrimmage, the 23-yard line. Rhett is in the backfield. And here he goes, number 33. And Rhett continues to break tackles, comes out close to the 30. He's got a good chance to be our MVP, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. You think about some of the great Florida running backs. We've mentioned John L. Williams and Emmitt Smith and Neil Anderson. Eric Rhett, only a junior, after a big year last year where he led the SEC in rushing. And then if he comes back, which is anticipated, he's going to be a featured part of this attack.
Shane Matthews, his final game at Florida, would have liked to throw the ball a little more here in the second half. You can see the distribution in the second half, but it's difficult at best.
I think it was a pass.
I think it was to the far side. I don't think anybody caught it. And we're not trying to be funny. It's just really getting that difficult right now. The best shot we have is when you have this low-angle camera near the field level, because from up above right now, there's a very clear shot as opposed to what you're seeing with the naked eye.
Who made you Cecil B. DeMille?
Well, I'm going to produce and correct this thing.
We've
Take
noticed.
camera 2 right now, would you guys? Third down, 3 yards to go. And I think he mishandled the snap. He did. And Matthews is down on it. I think he saved it for the Gators.
When he was pulling away from the center, I think the ball may have hit his left guard as he was backing away.
Well, the main story is it's still their football.
Yeah, you watch Shane Matthews, number 9, the quarterback, as he backs away, the ball hits to the hip of the left guard and is bouncing around.
So on 4th down, Gators will punt it away. Shane Edge to do the honors. And it'll be Liddell George back deep for NC State. 20-3. The Gators, 12:52 left.
They're coming after him. It's going to be a punt block.
They've got 9 guys coming after him. The punt high into the air for George. Backing up. He's got it. No fair catch. Stays on his feet somehow and then loses yardage. Still on his feet and dropped at the 27-yard line. Well, Steve Henry, our cameraman, we gave him the assignment on this last punt to follow the football. I don't know if he did or not. We'll check later to see. 12:34 left to go. 17-point lead for the Gators.
Sunday. As a family, they stuck together to protect themselves. But who'll protect them from each other?
My husband's been shot.
Justine Bateman, Right to Kill, based on a true story. 7 Eastern Sunday on TBS.
I always rehearse my presentation in front of the bedroom mirror.
In front of the bathroom mirror. Who would know better how to make business travelers feel at home than Holiday Inn? That's why more of them stay with us. Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know who really knows you.
My dandruff shampoo is good.
Better try something else. Mine really works.
You'd better try something else, like Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it more than all leading brands. Selsun Blue. Doctor recommended #1.
What he did to her was unspeakable. The fact she protected him was unthinkable.
I'm worried about you.
Based on a true story. Cheryl Ladd, Sam Elliott, A Death in California. 8:05 Eastern Friday night on TBS.
Syracuse posted one of the most potent backfields with Larry Zonka, who rushed for 114 yards, and Floyd Little, who gained a Gator Bowl record of 216 yards. But the Orangemen could not overcome the passing attack of Tennessee quarterback Dewey Warren, whose touchdown pass to Richmond Flowers made the difference in the Vols' 18-12 win. You know what I remember about Richmond Flowers? He's a world-class hurdler.
Yeah, remember that.
And how about number 44? How many number 44s at Syracuse?
Oh, Jim Brown was one of them.
Ernie Davis?
Yeah. And the Swamp Rat. Remember the Swamp Rat? Dewey Warren. That's what they called him.
The Swamp Rat. From the 27, North Carolina stayed with the ball. Jordan with a deep drop going up top. The ball is up. Eddie Goins had it for a moment, it looked like. Hatch and White came down, and the ball is loose.
You know, for a moment there, I thought he caught it. But once again, number 18, Lawrence Hatch, the corner, made a nice play. But Goins only one catch on the evening. He was the leading receiver coming into the game. Florida's taken away the run, and they've taken away Eddie Goins. That's offensive pass interference, quite honestly, as he's pushing off Hatch. You know, he had it there for just a moment. Yep. Yeah, and then the hand of Lawrence Hatch knocks it out of his hands.
He's had only one catch for 1 yard. He had 46 catches coming into the game. Third best yardage total this year in NC State history. But the guy that's really done the job for him has been Auer. This time they go back to Goins, and he makes his catch of an 18-yard gain. So State now has it at the 45-yard line. First down.
What Eddie Goins does well is come out of the break. Now, he may not beat a defender as he goes into the break, but he's quick out of it. And he creates that separation as he comes out of the break, and that's when you have completions, when you separate from the defender.
So Goins now maybe getting on track, as is Jordan over the middle. That's the tight end we're talking about. Auer, been a very busy guy, catches the ball just short of the 50, close to a 5-yard pickup. 4 catches for 35 yards. They're going without a huddle. Not only do they not huddle on defense, but now their offense without the huddle. 11:52 left in the game. Jordan from the shotgun. Incomplete far side. And that was Goins, the intended receiver, in the vicinity of the 40-yard line. You know, Pat, I was going to give you kind of a geographical tour of the area. I was going to tell you the Fuller Warren Bridge is over here to the left, and the Isaiah D. Hart Bridge is to the right. And then to the right over here is the St. John's River. You see them all out there right now?
I did. About
I know it's
5 hours ago I saw them.
I was going to do that, and due to the weather, we haven't been able to give you this Cook's tour of the Jacksonville area. Maybe next year. Third down now and 5. Jordan far side and well covered by Florida. Goins, the intended receiver. It looks like Lawrence Hatch was the guy that had the deep coverage on the far side of the field.
You know, Eric Rett may be the most valuable player for the offense, but Lawrence Hatch, number 18, the defensive corner for Florida on defense, has played beautifully. I mean, he has covered long passes and short passes. He's covered tight ends and wide receivers. He's stuffed the run. He has played very well.
Kilpatrick, the senior out of Rocky Mount, North Carolina, will punt away, and Monty Duncan waiting at the 15-yard line. Duncan will make the fair catch and does at the 17-yard line. 11.5 minutes left to go in this one. 32-yard punt. The Gators with a 17-point advantage.
Let's decide. I want the beach.
Mommy, I just want to have fun.
Well, how about some golf?
I think I've got it. Look at this. Jacksonville, Florida. It's got everything.
Jacksonville, Florida, your everything vacation destination. Call today, 1-800-733-2668.
6 years ago, the city of Tampa had crumbling sewer pipes, and they started slip-lining them with Driscoll pipe from Phillips 66, extending their lifespan from 10 years to 50, and saving millions of tax dollars, which Tampa has no trouble finding better ways to spend. Solutions from Phillips 66, the performance company.
Gators leading 20-3. The Gator Bowl has really been good to the Gators and Shane Matthews. They defeated Georgia the last 3 years. He made his debut in the orange and blue game. Look at these numbers. He's
including today.
Yep, that's including right up to the moment. He
has
come
owned the
back
place
here somehow and play again.
Yeah, he has owned this place.
Hand off to Rhett, and Rhett having a big day. Brings it out to the 30, a gain of 11, first down. So what's that, 149 yards?
On 29 carries. Think about Shane Matthews, too. When he came to Florida, he was a fifth-team quarterback. He did not get discouraged. And it was actually here also in the Gator Bowl when he had an opportunity to get his first playing time in a spring game.
Yep.
The blue and orange spring game. He threw 3 touchdown passes in that game, and that's where his career really started.
Had no interceptions that game either. So he's never thrown an interception in the Gator Bowl. 3 regular season games and a spring game. And this time they were able to drop Rhett. David Merritt was there, and that's one of the few times they've stopped him. You know, this didn't used to be a very good place. They were struggling here at the Gator Bowl. They defeated Georgia this year 26-24. Beat them in 90, 91. As one of the players in a statement this week as I was getting ready for the game said, this is our home, our state, our stadium. We love the Gator Bowl. Why not? The way they've been playing. 2nd and 14. Little delayed handoff to Eric Rhett, and Rhett gobbled up again. North Carolina State getting a little bit better now against the run. Good reaction that time by Greg Gianamore, I should say, who also plays for the Wolfpack baseball team. Junior out of Winter Haven. Willie Jackson will come in now on a 3rd down and 13 yards to go. 10 minutes left in this 4th quarter. Gators taking their time now. Coming out of the ball game is Keller as Jackson checks in. They have a trips formation at the top of the field. No setbacks. Matthews up the middle. Completion is made to Aubrey Hill. Hill led him in catches average-wise. In fact, he has the last 2 years. That's his first grab for 16 yards.
You play defensive back against Shane Matthews and see if you can defend him. Because see, the ball's up high, no wasted motion. The ball gets out of his hands quickly, and the receivers have a nice way of getting open at the right moment. You know, some receivers get open early before the quarterback's ready to throw or too late, but these Florida receivers are open just at the moment that Shane Matthews is ready to deliver the ball.
First down now at the 42-yard line. Quick pitch to Rhett. Rhett across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Maybe a gain of a yard on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9 yards to go.
Well, Shane Matthews said we were going to have to run the football to beat this North Carolina State team. And they have run the ball very well tonight. The rookie tackles, or the freshman tackles, Reggie Green and Jason Odom, have had a big night.
You know, the record individually rushing is held by Floyd Little, 216 yards. Rhett now with 141 on 38 carries. Lost a couple of those yards earlier. He had it up higher. Now picking up a couple of hard-earned yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and still close to 6 yards to go. Logo, the guy on the snap or on the tackle, as Dean will come in with a play. Steve Spurrier took the Gators to 2 bowls when he was playing. Orange and Sugar Bowl, winning the Heisman Trophy, also the SEC Player of the Year, and then going on as the first-round draft pick of the 49ers. 3rd down, let's make it 8 yards to go. Shane keeps the ball on the bootleg. dives forward, and he looks like he has a first down. He faked the red, rolled to the near side, and Dwayne Washington finally got over there, but it is a first down for the Gators.
You know, he has got some mobility, Shane Matthews. I mean, he's not going to outrun a lot of people, but when it comes in a situation like this, he can get you enough yards. And again, they had run the ball so well inside with Eric Rett, the weak side linebacker, the weak side tackles, everybody had flowed inside, and the naked bootleg, as they call it, was wide open for the first down.
They're in the North Carolina State end of the field now at the 47. Randolph and Rett in the backfield. 7.5 minutes left. 20-3 the Gators. Rett building some more numbers to his portfolio. Moves it to the 40-yard line. 3 yards short of a first down.
You know, at this stage in the game, I'm surprised that they're still running Eric Rett. I would think maybe that Steve Spurrier with a comfortable 20-3 lead. Rett is a guy you hope you're going to have back next year. He's only a junior. You'd hate to risk an injury to a guy like Eric Rett.
Well, as you speak, he comes out of the ball game. And coming in is Kedra Malone. So Malone will come in. He was out all last year. He was a medical redshirt because of a shoulder problem. Carried the ball only 29 times, so it gives you an idea of how little he's played this year. And here is Malone trying to run wide and gets to the 40-yard line, very close to the first down. Looked like he needed to get just inside the 40, and it's going to bring up a third down now and about a yard to go. Is that right? Looking across there at the sticks.
Well, they have 2 or 3 up on the scoreboard. Actually, 3 yards on the scoreboard.
It is 3 yards.
Yeah.
Third down and still 3. Frustrating night for Dick Sheridan. His team's been out there too long defensively.
Defensively, never gotten the flow offensively, largely because of Florida's defense there.
Matthews to Rett again. Rett makes the cut, make that Malone, and Malone now takes it inside the 35 to the 34. David Merritt over to make the stop. And it's another first down, stopping the clock with 6 minutes left of the game.
Malone runs a lot like Rett, and he just doesn't stop. Keeps the legs moving. No real penetration now by this Wolfpack defense. The offensive line have done a terrific job of sealing that off. And now it's Malone picking his way.
Well, Malone started one game when Rett was struggling with that ankle that he hurt against Tennessee. First down, just inside the 35. It's Randolph this time, the fullback. Well, it's been a frustrating night for Dick Sheridan, but what an outstanding coach he is. And, you know, a guy who really talked Dick Sheridan into staying at North Carolina State is a friend of ours, Jim Valvano, who was the athletic director at North Carolina State at the time. Of course, I had the opportunity to follow his Wolfpack in that Cinderella year when they won the national championship in '83. And what that leads to is we just want to say the very best to Jim Valvano as he heads into 1993. He's been a friend, and he and his wife Pam, we're just our prayers are for you, and we just want you to know that as we came here, we couldn't think about North Carolina State without bringing up Jim Valvano.
A remarkable battle, and you know, my wife read the article in the paper the other day about Jim was crying like a baby. It's a tremendous battle he's waged, and we certainly wish him and his family well.
Coach V. So a timeout now called by Florida. They have one left. 4:56 left in the game. 20-3, Florida.
United Airlines. In 12 cities, in 11 Latin American countries, they're playing our song. Come fly the airline that's uniting the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
Hey, let's talk Elvis.
The king of rock and roll.
I'm Paul Provenza. Join me as I travel across America talking to people who are keeping the legend alive.
A TBS original production.
Elvis, USA. Friday, January 8th on TBS.
When your battery's outperforming.
Look at this. Somebody threw a smoke bomb. Well, they did not have a timeout called. Instead, they called to delay a game on the Gators. So they come out, snap the ball while we were away, and somebody threw a smoke bomb on the field at the 20-yard line. That's all we need is a little more fog out here. Anyway, as we reset it here, the ball now at the 37-yard line.
Well, what a way to cap off a career for Shane Matthews. 19 SEC records, 47 school records, threw for over 9,000 yards.
Kind of like what you did at USC, right?
Yeah, I had all those yards called back, remember?
That's right.
So,
what was that? Pitch left, pitch right.
I had about 9,000 yards called back. So.
Oh, okay. Third down now, 12 yards to go. Matthews flushed out of there. And the senior is going to be knocked out of bounds at the 32-yard line. His dad, Bill Matthews, here. And of course, Shane has battled back from a lot. We talked about him being a fifth-string quarterback. He also was suspended early in his career for he and a bunch of guys betting on some college football games. And then he lost his mother in August. She had been battling cancer, and then she died of a stroke. And his dad's still a coach at Pascagoula, Mississippi. He comes to all the games. He's telling us he's never missed a one. Had a pretty good football year, I understand. In fact, he thinks next year they're really going to be good.
He has won the state championship a couple of times.
So on a 4th and 8, the Gators are going to go for it with 4:43 left in this game. Trips formation to the top of the field. Matthews caught beautifully by Aubrey Hill. No, they say he's out of bounds at the 7.
And we talked about the corner routes and the post routes that Florida runs so well. Well, this is one of those corner routes. And this is the one, 2 of them they missed for touchdowns in the first half. This one was just thrown too wide for Hill.
Well, I don't know. I thought, let's see. No, good call by the referee.
Yep.
So that was a 4th down. Now the officials milling around out there. Ron Winter trying to sort it out.
An eligible receiver on the offense. Penalties declined. Ball goes over on downs. First down.
So State will have the football with 4:38 left, trailing 20-3.
Yep. Dick Sheridan's going to have a rebuilding job. 21 seniors he'll lose. 17 of those redshirt seniors that have been so responsible for the success of the Wolfpack over the last 5 years.
Terry Jordan coming off straight ahead. This is Liddell George, and George will bring it out to the 38-yard line. Well, a red-hot Phoenix Suns, 14 in a row. Going against the Admiral, David Robinson, the San Antonio Spurs with the new coach, John Lucas. And I'll tell you, the Suns were 14-0 in December. They've got KJ, Kevin Johnson back, and with Charles Barkley.
Are you picking them? Are you, just because you live in Phoenix?
I would never do that.
Yeah.
Never do that. This is a long pass down the field, up, and it is caught by Reggie Lawrence at the 20-yard line. It was a jump ball. He came down with it with Gilmore and Hatch on both sides of him, a 42-yard gain.
Well, that's the kind of play, the big play in the passing game they have needed all game. Now, they trail 20-3 with 4 minutes remaining, so probably too late. But that is the kind of play that has hurt Florida this year. They've been tough in situations, but they've been giving up some big plays in the passing game.
Reggie Lawrence has really battled tough in this game. He hurt his arm a couple of times. Jordan over the middle is picked off. Intercepted by Will White. And White, coming out up there, has now picked off 15 passes in his career. It's a Gator record. The senior, his final appearance, there is a flag on the play. Flag inside the 20-yard line.
Well, good read there by Will White, the free safety. He just kind of locked into Terry Jordan, the quarterback, and Jordan had thrown that ball down the middle 4 or 5 times tonight, but penalty against Florida.
Penalty against Florida.
Looks like it was after the turnover, though, I guess, because the offense is still on the field.
Yeah, the illegal block, evidently. Here is the play once again.
Let's see, the free safety, Will White, just kind of read the eyes of Terry Jordan the whole way.
After the interception, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Will White, his sophomore year, had 7 interceptions. He, as a sophomore, was a first-team All-American. His numbers have dropped off. He's 3 times been on the All-SEC list, making the 2nd team this season. Nice way for him to finish his career for Florida. Trey Everett now comes into the ball game. Ezekiel the third. with now 3:54 left in the game. The penalty moving the ball back inside the 10. Matthews and Red is back in there. So Red is able to wedge it out to the 10-yard line. There's Will.
Well, started all 4 years, the Gators. You mentioned the 15 interceptions.
Not as happy on the other sideline. By the way, that carry by Rhett was his 35th, and that is a Gator Bowl record.
He has had a big night. You know, he's done a little bit of everything, Gary.
Flag. There is no penalty.
I mean, he's had some outside runs. He's had some inside runs. He's broken some tackles. He's shown some flashes of some speed, made some people miss. Been a big receiver in the game as well.
156 yards rushing. Look at this time of possession. First half, North Carolina State didn't have it very much, did they? At the 10 now. Rhett on his way, building some yardage, and he fumbled the ball. It's loose at the 20. And I think Mike Reed has it for NC State, so a couple of turnovers here. North Carolina State will get it. It's going to be David Merritt that came up with it, the linebacker. So with now 3:15, they've got it at the Florida 20-yard line.
Well, he takes a big hit. Eric Rhett takes a big hit. I thought it was by one of the linebackers who got a good shot at it. No, it was a free safety, Ricky Turner. You know, the thing about Florida, they have had 30 turnovers this year, actually 32 now, and they still won 8 games.
That's right. They had a -12 in the turnover differential this year. As opposed to State, it was a +5. Jordan over the middle and almost a touchdown. Goins had a crack at it. Good coverage that
Yeah, look
time.
who made the play again.
Lawrence Hatch.
Yeah. Lawrence Hatch again. Okay, this was a pretty good throw in a well-designed play. Started with some pretty good protection, but number 18, watch Hatch take a good shot at him. He had it caught for a while, went right after the ball, went up high to knock the ball loose to the receiver, and Lawrence Hatch has done that all evening. He has knocked, I think, maybe 5 passes out of receivers' hands.
I agree, and he's a guy who was a transfer from Orange Coast Junior College in California. Hasn't played a lot, but they think he has a ton of ability. Jordan back again. Inside, little screen intended for Goins, and he can't come up with it. They set that up at games earlier this year, and it was very effective, where he runs towards Jordan. They dump it off, and he has a convoy up the field, but it's incomplete. Stops the clock with 3:05. Third down and 10 yards as the line of scrimmage still the 20-yard line. 3:05 to go. 2 timeouts left for North Carolina State. Trailing 20-3. Jordan completes it. Catch made by Liddell George, stays on his feet, and he's going to be knocked down in the vicinity of the 10-yard line. Now, he needed to get there for the first down, and we're going to have to wait because we cannot see the far side whether he got the first down or not.
I can't even see the officials anymore. They
are now indicating a first down. There by the half the length of a football. Thank you, Lonnie Dale, our director. Thanks, Lonnie. We need your help right now, buddy.
Absolutely. Well, Liddell George is the receiver out of the backfield. They've used him more as a receiver than as a runner. A better hands than Anthony Barber or Maynard.
First and goal, quarterback draw, and that fooled nobody. Jordan was stuck, losing his helmet up front. One of the offensive linemen, Eric Taylor, and Ellis Johnson and Johnny Church weren't fooled for a moment there.
Yeah, those inside tackles, you mentioned Ellis Johnson and Johnny Church. Inside tackles for Florida have done just a beautiful job. Penetration most of the evening. They've taken away the run, and they put a lot of pressure on Terry Jordan. That's hard to do, is stop the run as much as they have and still put the kind of pressure they have on Terry Jordan.
Second and goal. They lost about a half yard on the play outside the 10. Jordan, far side, touchdown, complete to Aubrey Shaw. Shaw on a quick slant, and this State team has some fight left in them. 2:14 left in the game. Terry Jordan with his 10th touchdown toss of the year, an 11-yard strike.
You know, the nice thing about this team does reflect their coach, and there's no quit in Dick Sheridan. I mean, he has won a lot of games in his career, and then won a lot of them coming from behind.
Well, we'll have the onside kick. We can bet on that as point after attempt now coming up. Viditic is to attempt it, the sophomore out of Winston-Salem, and he got it. 20-10 the count. 2:14 left in the game. 5 plays, 19 yards after the turnover.
When your batteries are performing, you're on top of the world. But you never know when they're about to take a fall. Only Duracell has the Copper Top Battery Tester, so you can be sure your batteries will be riding high. You can't top the Copper Top.
The doctor's ready.
That cold pill.
Antihistamines. Sometimes they make you sleepy. Well, there aren't any in Advil Cold and Sinus. It's tough on the cold. Not on you.
Advil Cold and Sinus. Advanced formula for the cold season.
Rust. What it can do to the outside of your car, weak, neglected antifreeze can do to the inside. You need Prestone. No matter what happens to the outside, Prestone protects the inside. Prestone stops the rust that stops your car.
Hey, let's talk Elvis.
The king of rock and roll.
I'm Paul Provenza. Join me as I travel across America talking to people who are keeping the legend alive.
A TBS original production.
Elvis, USA. Friday, January 8th on TBS.
NC State has cut it to 10. Going to go back to this touchdown toss to Aubrey Shaw.
Well, the key here, Terry Jordan looks this one off. See, he looks to his right, then he comes back and finds Shaw. A little bit earlier, he had the same kind of pass intercepted by the free safety, Will White, when he kind of locked in on the receiver. That time he looks one way, he comes right back for the throw and the touchdown. Nice read by Jordan.
How could you lock in on a quarterback? You can't possibly see his eyes in this game. Onside kick coming up now. All the guys with the good hands up front now for the Gators. You can see them all strung on the far side of the field. 2:14 left to go in the game. 6 guy attempts it. It's a real dogfight at the 50-yard line.
I think Battle. I think
Battle
Keith Battle got it.
Keith Battle, 48. Let's see what the determination is here.
So clearly, I should say clearly, Keith Battle did make the onside recovery. It was a matter of did the ball go 10 yards or not.
Let's listen.
The kickoff was illegally touched by the kicking team. The receiving team take the option of putting the ball here. First down.
Well, there's no decision to be made there. Gators have it.
Yeah, Battle actually touched the ball. Remember, it must travel 10 yards. And you're going to see him touch it right before he gets to the white line. He's touching it there.
Yep.
Yeah, before the line.
Almost hit another one of the players from North Carolina State before they got to Battle. So they will have it at the 46 of North Carolina State. 2:13 left. As we mentioned, 2 timeouts left for NC State, trailing by 10. And right back into the ball game is Eric Rhett, and Rhett mounts the totals. 12-yard gain inside the 35. What a performance by this junior out of Pembroke Pines, Florida.
Well, I sure wouldn't have him in the game now, though, Gary.
37 carries, Pat, for 179 yards. That is a big night. His biggest, as we mentioned, was 193 against Kentucky. NC State will call a timeout. They have 1 remaining with 2:08 left to go.
You know, Florida has been able to produce, we talked about some of the great running backs, but those running backs, too, have also developed into very good receivers. We talked about Eric Rhett being a good receiver, but, you know, Emmitt Smith has developed into a big receiver for the Dallas Cowboys now, and John L. Williams has been a longtime receiver for Seattle.
Well, who would you guess is our Lincoln Mercury player of the game?
Is his number 33 in blue?
Very good. 37 carries, 179 yards, Eric Rhett. We had a tough decision over that. Gator Bowl record for rushes. The rushing record, as we mentioned earlier, 216 yards by Floyd Little. The Lincoln Mercury player of the game. Florida's record here in the bowl is 187 yards by Larry Smith. So it's coming awfully close to that. Got a flag on the play here. Ron Winter, tell us what's happened here.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Steve Spurrier's team going to win their 9th game of the year. And this is coming on the heels of losing to a couple of pretty good football teams. They lost to Florida State, turned around, lost to Alabama, the number 2 and 3 ranked teams, after they'd won 7 in a row. He brought them up here, as you mentioned, Pat, on the start of this game, had a mini camp. Brought them up here in the Jacksonville area, and as they were saying, this was a tough camp. He got their attention.
It was like a second spring practice. They had 2-a-days, and the whole idea was to get them focused and have them forget about the Alabama loss and focus on the Gator Bowl.
2:07 left to go. The penalty makes it 1st and 15. Rhett on his way, and that'll get him over 180 yards for the game as he's close to the 35. And we're inside 2 minutes. David Merritt made the stop and have another timeout. North Carolina State will use their final timeout. Saturday night, 8:05 p.m. Mark this down on TBS. The Bucks and the Hawks. Pete Van Wieren, Dick Versace will be describing the action. And so the Florida Gators will be taking this back to Gainesville, some 70 miles away, the Gator Bowl champion. This is the 8th Gator Bowl that Florida has played in. The last one was 1983. They beat Iowa that year, but for Steve Spurrier, the first bowl victory for him. He'd been 0-2 coming into tonight.
You know, as well as this Gator defense has played tonight, Gary, they were very unsatisfied, Steve and Ron Zook, the defensive coordinator, with how the defense played this year. It was a young defense. They had some injuries. They had some players leave. Didn't play as well defensively during the course of the year as they had the 2 previous years, but they think with all these people coming back, offensively and defensively, they're going to have a big year. I mean, they have to certainly find a replacement for Shane Matthews, who's played so marvelously over the last few years for the Gators. But this will be a team to make a real run for it next season.
I bet they find somebody between Terry Dean and Danny Werfel. Dean is a sophomore. Werfel's a redshirt freshman who was the Florida Player of the Year. He's been wig-wagging the plays in. Here's Red again on a 2nd down and taking it inside the 35-yard line. There's Terry Dean. This guy has had, are you ready for this, a 3.97 GPA. He's had 1 B+. All the rest have been A's. I'd like to know who that professor was that gave him the B+.
It was a guy named Bill. What was his name? Bill.
Oh, you know? Get out of here. Anyway,
well, I was doing my preparation, Gary. I
almost believed you. You see the time remaining. Very unusual night for football, to say the least. Looks like they're going to come on the blitz. Matthews play action fake. Going up top. Wide open. Harrison Houston. Touchdown, Florida. 34 yards. So Shane Matthews, his final appearance for the Gators, with another touchdown strike.
It started with just perfect protection. Just perfect protection. And I think everybody in North Carolina State defense is expecting to run and have him kind of wind the clock down.
Well, Matthews had a 17-yard strike to Jackson, now 1 of 34, giving him 25 touchdown tosses this year. And there's what we see, which isn't a lot. Oh, your eyes get a little tired. It's like driving in a snowstorm, isn't it? Davis, point after attempt on the way. And it's good. 27-10. Well, Pat, Happy New Year to you.
And to you, pal. Let's take a look at the touchdown, though. You know, Florida's had some success running those corner routes. You know, those are the ones outside. Well, when you run successful corner routes, it sets up the inside posts. And it's just the inverse of the corner. The guy fakes outside, comes inside, and Harrison Houston was wide open. He was open earlier on the corner. They missed him. They come back on a post pattern, and he's open for the TD.
You're going to take our booth coordinator, Shannon Mizell, and have him start for the airport right now. We may not find it by tomorrow morning. We may be doing 4 or 5 miles an hour through the streets of Jacksonville. Shannon wants you to leave right now to get ready. And also want to give a real thanks to John Humanick and his staff, Sports Information Office at the University of Florida. Mark Bockelman and his staff, North Carolina State, for all their help this week. Our guys in the truck, Lonnie Dale, Peter Lasser,
Joe Vincius,
Joe
great
Vincius,
job.
yeah,
all year.
Jay Cockrell. We've had guys who worked so hard during the NFL season and coming into this one, and I don't think anybody's worked any harder than we have tonight with these weather conditions. We thank you guys for all your help. Stephanie Bradley setting up this outfit, getting everybody parked in the right place, all the cables going, and our cameraman. What a job they have done tonight. Tom Delnos has refused to spot again. He's going back to the Valley of the Sun, where it always has sunshine. And so they're going to pile up at the 38-yard line with 1:05 left in this game. Jay Gator was the guy who was over there coming up with it.
Well, for the North Carolina State seniors, disappointing way to end their remarkable careers, but nonetheless 40 wins for them over the past 5 years, the redshirt years they had, averaging 8 wins a season.
Well, they were picked those 6 to the preseason, the ACC, so this has been a remarkable year, coming in here 9-2-1. Jordan with that little screen to Goins. Goins across the 45, a gain of 8. Inside a minute to go.
Reception from Terry Jordan. Lex Smith on the stop for Florida.
Carolina State won their first 3 games, lost to Florida State, beat North Carolina, lost to Georgia Tech in the last second, a field goal. And they beat Texas Tech, tied Virginia Tech, which they consider to be the low point of the year. As Auer with the catch, that'll be a first down at the 46. And then they close out their season playing so well, winning their last 4 prior to the Gator Bowl here. Beating a Wake Forest team who did very well today in the Independence Bowl. Bill Dooley's final game for the Demon Deacons. Jordan with 29 seconds. Auer again. Auer's had a strong game. Takes it to the 41. They think he will play at the next level.
Yeah. Well, he's got enough speed, and we've seen him obviously catch the ball, get up the middle on the defense today. He's a good blocker, and he has enough speed to get deep, and they think he's going to be able to play on Sundays. 6
catches, 47 yards for the co-captain. Clock winding down, the completion to the near sideline. Jordan making that completion to the 36 to Aubrey Shaw. 5 seconds left. Well, the Gators will be back here in the Gator Bowl against Georgia again. We're only about 15 miles, I understand, from the Georgia line. That's one of the reasons this area has been selected for the Bulldogs and Gators every year. You did a game here one time, didn't you, Georgia?
Yeah, Florida-Georgia.
You remember that one?
It was a 44-0 game. Georgia won. Herschel Walker had a big day. How about the state of Florida, though? They produced about 150 Division I-A athletes out of the state of Florida.
Jordan, last gasp. A lot of blue shirts are down there. And has it been picked up? It's academic, whether it is or not. It looks like Will White is over there mugging somebody. I think it's Michael Gilmore. We'll give him credit for that interception. As time has expired, 27-10, the Gators. Well, Retta was our Lincoln Mercury MVP, and Craig Sager is with him.
Well, thank you, Gary. And the Most Valuable Player Award being presented by Tommy Shannon, a Gator Most Valuable Player in the Gator Bowl 30 years ago to Eric Rett. Eric, congratulations.
Oh, yeah, thanks. This really means a lot to me. My offensive line did a superb job. Coach Spurrier called a lot of great plays, and we just went out there and played our best, and we had some tough practices during the week. We had mini camp, and I just been practicing hard and preparing for this game right here.
A reward for a great season, but more than that, something to build on for next year. Only 3 seniors on your depth chart are gone. What about next year for the Gators?
Oh, yeah, we're a very young team. We were young throughout the whole year. We lost a lot of players like Darren Mickle, Harvey Thomas, William Gaines. We lost a lot of players this year. A lot of people didn't realize that right there. But we're going to be I think we're going to be a pretty good team next year.
I was talking with John L. Williams, James Jones on the sidelines. They predict an outstanding NFL career. Pro, or will you be back with the Gators?
No, I don't think I had that much of a superb year. I'm going to be back here, definitely. There was no doubt in my mind during the beginning of this year's season, was I going to come out early? I knew I was going to stay this year. I want to do a lot of things as a senior, like the Senior Bowls, and I also like all my coaches and all my players.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you, Tommy. Steve Spurrier, first of all, the great news, Eric Rett tells Gator fans he's coming back for his senior year.
Well, we knew he was coming back all along, so that wasn't big news. But Eric had a super night, and our defense, sorry the game was our defense, they played super. Had some turnovers that gave State their only scores, but it's best our defense maybe played all year. Really proud of them.
What about the touchdown by Shane Matthews at the end? A great tribute for him as well, but of course NC State not happy with you scoring again.
Well, they were blitzing. They were trying to stop us from running. We're trying to win a game.
A great win to build on for what could be an outstanding year next season.
Well, hopefully. We're proud of the way these guys played. Played a lot of effort. It was a good win. We had that number 6 on our helmets tonight for the 6 Gators that got killed in a plane crash going to Birmingham to watch us play. So this victory was for those 6 guys.
Thank you very much, Coach Spurrier. Let's go back to Gary Bender and Pat Hayden.
All right, Craig. Not only did Rhett have 183 yards rushing, he caught 7 passes for 60 yards. That's 243 yards in total offense. We'll be back with some final thoughts here from the Gator Bowl. 27-10, the Gators defeat the Wolfpack.
Introducing the 32-valve, 280 horsepower Lincoln Mark 8.
You fool like a pro. With these 2 tapes, you can do almost anything. Except beat me.
World champion Steve Miserak takes you through the best way to improve your game. Call the number on your screen and we'll send you this wonderful 2-video cassette collection for just $24.95 plus postage and handling.
2 for the price of 1? How can you go wrong?
These videos have never been offered together, and they are only being offered for a limited time. So act now while supply lasts. Call 1-800-554-9000. That's 1-800-554-9000.
ESPN's college football season goes out with flying colors in a Bowl Week extravaganza. Tennessee faces Boston College in the Hall of Fame Bowl. New Year's Day, live on ESPN.
We thank the 37th President of the United States, Richard Nixon, for joining us up close. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.
One name has become synonymous with the Liberty Bowl, the Air Force Falcons. It is the goal of their season, their aim, their ambition, and upon arrival, their game soars. 2 years ago, they shocked heavily favored Ohio State with the running game. The supposedly bigger and stronger Buckeyes just couldn't handle. And then Carlton McDonald put the game away with this late interception. Again underdogs last year, they stung Mississippi State with lightning speed on both sides of the ball, and it became a runaway Air Force win. This year, Mississippi is the big favorite with a top 20 ranking and 4 consecutive wins. But watch out, because in the words of Uncle Sam, Air Force wants you. Cold, raw, windy, and rainy New Year's Eve from Memphis, Tennessee. ESPN welcomes you to the Liberty Bowl, the 34th edition, as the Ole Miss Rebels take on from the WAC Conference the Air Force Falcons. Happy New Year, everyone. With Dan Jiggets, this is Kevin Harlan. What an interesting story written by the Ole Miss Rebel team this year. In the 2-division split Southeast Conference in the West, they were picked to finish last. Instead, they finished with an 8-3 record. Dan, they win their final 4 games of the season, none more impressively than their win over Jackie Sherrill's Mississippi State Ball Club.
And you want to know why. Defense, in a word. And you know what they did to Mississippi State? They stopped them 11 times inside the 10-yard line with plays like this from big Chad Brown, 6'7", 265. He'll be a #1 draft choice in the NFL.
I sense in the 7-4 Air Force season, a team which lost 3 of their final 5 games, that it was somewhat disappointing, especially from an offensive standpoint.
Well, yeah, they did not produce points in the latter part of the season. And you wonder how bad it got. Well, they only produced 47 points in their last 4 ball games.
Well, for the Air Force Academy, folks, this is their 4th consecutive trip, and they're trying for their 3rd consecutive upset. Can they pull it off tonight? We shall see. Last time these two teams met, hell, it was Ole Miss with the win in the '89 Liberty Bowl as we roll down Beale Street in Memphis. ESPN's presentation of the 1992 Liberty Bowl is brought to you by Thrifty Car Rental. For worldwide reservations, call 1-800-4CARS.
In pilot jargon, it's called a walk-around. You see them do it before every takeoff of every plane. What you don't see are their qualifications to fly those planes. It takes them years and thousands of hours of experience. And every year they're schooled and tested. No exceptions. Because when you're a United pilot, you hold a lot more in your hands than just the controls. Come fly the airline that's uniting the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
You know, on the road for Ace, I see a lot of great stuff. Like the Boudreaux Brothers Ace Hardware stores here in Napoleonville, Louisiana. These guys really go out of their way for you. See, when you come into Brother Dan's store and he's out of something, he'll call Brother Wayne's store 5 miles down the road and they'll bring it over. Now that is delivering service. And hey, that kind of spirit is what Ace Hardware is all about. So take it from the Boudreaux Brothers and me. Wherever you go, Ace is America's place for helpful service.
Jonesy? Uh-huh. What are you doing out there?
Hiding.
Huh?
Mr. Jenkins says the package I sent him didn't get there. He's calling every 5 minutes to yell at me.
It's probably in his mailroom. Just call Federal Express. They'll tell you when it got there and who signed for it so Jenkins can yell at him instead.
All I got to do is call Federal Express? Great.
Only Federal Express can confirm delivery in seconds. Other companies can take days.
What are you doing back there?
I didn't use Federal Express.
Next time, use Federal Express.
When it comes to sports in January, nobody stacks up to ESPN. Tune in the new year with ESPN.
In 1989, redshirt freshman Chucky Mullins was becoming a strong defensive back for the Rebels.